Chapter 2373. Capturing Qin Shi to give to Pu Huati, trying to get past Pu Huati to get rid of him. Poor Pu Huati, on the other hand, didn't do anything wrong. It was his stubbornness refusing to let go. If he had given up on Qin Shi, he wouldn't have been killed by Elder Pai and the others. But it was also because of his bad luck and strength. If it weren't for Elder Pai and the others, Lin Yi wouldn't have been able to stop him today. It was a close shave. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't let it go just like that. The hidden house Zhao, huh? He'll remember this. Zhao Qikuan, Elder Pai and the others, he'll get Zhao Qikuan to deal with you guys later. On the first floor of the casino, Yushu was playing happily. Oh, I'm genius Shu, I won again. Yushu looked at the combination of patterns on the screen and jumped up and down with her fists raised. Shu, does this count as cheating? Meng Yao was a little worried. After all, Yushu was the one who figured out the pattern of the slot tiger and she was basically winning every round. In just a short while, Shu had already won more than 5 million in chips. If this continued, wouldn't the casino lose money? Would there be people coming to cause trouble? Cheating? We didn't cheat, we just figured out the pattern. How is that cheating? Yushu shook her head. It's fine, this is a big casino. Can't we afford to lose money? If we can't, our reputation will be ruined. You're right. Meng Yao looked at the customers and nodded. If someone really came to stop her and Shu from winning, then the casino's reputation would be ruined. There were a lot of rich people in Donghai and there were many big bosses who could afford to lose. However, they could lose money, but they would never allow people to say that they cheated when they were winning. Can't afford to win? Who would come to play then? Of course, under normal circumstances, the casino wouldn't do such a self-destructive thing. However, it wasn't like no one noticed Shu's continuous winnings. In the casino's surveillance room, there were people who had noticed this a long time ago. When they switched the image to Yushu, they realized that Yushu wasn't cheating at all. It wasn't easy to cheat at a slot machine like this, but it seemed like she had grasped some sort of calculation pattern. However, it wasn't that the casino didn't have any countermeasures. These slot machines were all connected to the internet. As long as they tampered with the control room, they could force the machine's program to not operate according to the conventional calculation method. The final result of human interference was a very simple matter. As a result, Yushu started losing after the surveillance team tampered with her slot machine, and she didn't even manage to win a single round. After all, no matter what she bet on, the people in the surveillance room would interfere with the result, and it'd be fine if the result didn't match Yushu's bet. Why isn't it working? Yushu looked at the slot machine in front of her strangely. She realized that her calculations weren't working. Logically speaking, it wasn't possible. He calculated it based on the results of the slot machine many times. Alright Shu, that's enough. No one can keep winning. Let's just play for a bit. Meng Yao didn't know why Yushu's calculations weren't working, but she wasn't very interested in betting on the slot machine. No, there must be something wrong with this machine. I'll try another one. With that, Yushu walked over to another machine with a big box of chips in her hands, starting a new bet. As expected, this time according to Yushu's calculations, the result was exactly the same. Yushu let out a yake and started betting again with confidence. However, this time the result was tragic. The result was different from her calculations. Why isn't it working again? Yushu frowned, a little unhappy. Theoretically speaking, if the first calculation was correct, then the next one should work as well, but it just didn't work. Yushu switched to another machine and it worked the first time, but it didn't work the second time. She was a little puzzled. In the surveillance room, the person in charge of the surveillance frowned as well. If Yushu played like this, she could really win once or twice if she switched to a different machine every time. After all, he still needed some time to get the control of the terminal machine. However, Yushu didn't plan to switch to another machine, and the person in charge breathed a sigh of relief. Yushu started studying the machine again, but no matter how she studied or what she bet on, the result would always be different. This result was the result of the person in charge of the surveillance, and Yushu couldn't calculate the pattern at all. What's going on? Yushu panicked as the chips in front of her decreased. She stopped studying the machine's pattern and started studying the machine itself. She walked around the machine and her eyes lit up. There was an internet cable at the back of the machine, and there was an internet cable inserted into it. The data exchange light of the internet cable was blinking. However, only this machine's data exchange light was blinking very frequently. The other tiger bashers didn't flicker this much. Evidently, the tiger pheasant was constantly exchanging data with the server's server. Yushu had learned something like this in her school's computer class, and so she understood the reason why she was losing money right away. Her tiger basher was probably targeted by the person in charge of the server. No matter what she bet, the other side would interfere. Naturally, it was impossible for her to win money. Yushu was angry at the thought. She came here to gamble and she didn't cheat. How dare they interfere? Wasn't this a little too petty? Yushu pulled out the internet cable and continued to bet with a smile on her face. As expected, the result was the same as the display. As expected, Yushu decided to place a higher bet this time. Very quickly, the chips in front of her went from a pitiful 2 million to more than 10 million. At this moment, the surveillance room was in chaos. The person in charge of the surveillance realized that he had lost connection with Yushu's tiger basher. He couldn't control the machine from the terminal, but from the surveillance footage, the tiger basher was still working normally, spitting out large amounts of chips. Chapter 2374. He'd been too focused on Yushu's screen that he hadn't seen her pull out the cable, and so he'd assumed that it was just a problem with the cable. He was sweating profusely from the panic. But he was a professional after all, and after checking for a long time he realized that all the other machines were working, except for Yushu's machine. He quickly called the boss of the casino, "Casino bro," out of nervousness. "Gamble bro, bad news. There's a problem with one of the slot machines." The man said urgently. "What's wrong? What's wrong?" Gamble bro had just left the Sky Room 1 and was still in shock. He didn't think that it was a big deal when he heard that there was a problem with the slot machine. "Can't you get someone to fix it if there's a problem? It's just a slot machine." "No, Gamble bro, it's like this. Someone calculated the pattern of the slot machine." The man explained quickly and told Gamble bro about Yushu's situation. He then said with a sad face, "Now the slot machine suddenly stopped working and I can't change the results of her bets. The machine has already spat out tens of millions of chips, and if this continues we'll lose our money." "What? Why didn't you say so earlier? Motherfucker, I'll bring someone over right now." Gamble bro sweated when he heard that the slot machine had spat out tens of millions of chips. He quickly called a few security guards over to the surveillance room. Gambler bro, on the other hand, frowned when he saw Yushu continue to win money in the video. Gamble bro had been in this casino for many years, and he could tell with one look that Yushu wasn't cheating. She had an extremely high IQ and had used some kind of exquisite calculation method to calculate the results of the slot machine. But this type of person was also the hardest to deal with in the casino, because there was no way to find any evidence of her cheating. Usually, when someone like this appeared, the casino would take measures to interfere with the results of the slot machine, forcing the expert to back off. If it was a bet with someone else, the casino would hire a gambling consultant to watch the fight. As for Zhu Qisho, he had also come to challenge the casino. Not only did he win against the casino's gambling consultant, but he also won 20 million yuan from Gambling Bro. Although he only got 10 million after the incident, it made Gambling Bro very sullen and disgraced him. After all, Zhu Qisho was the famous king of gamblers in Harbor City. He even had a mystic stage master as his bodyguard. Brother Zhu Qisho didn't dare to use force. Asking for 10 million was already giving him a lot of face. Of course, this was also because Zhu Qisho was an insider and knew to leave some leeway when doing things. This time, Gambling Bro had invited Pu Huati to challenge Zhu Qisho in order to wash away his shame. He didn't expect that Pu Huati would be killed before he could even fight. "Let's go take a look." Gambling Bro looked at the two youthful and beautiful gambling experts on the screen. He was a little confused. Where did these two people come from? If he was the gambling king, why hadn't he heard of him before? But no matter what, Brother Gamble couldn't let her continue to win. If this continued, he would go bankrupt. Because of his daughter's kidnapping, he was blackmailed out of 20 million. Seeing that Yushu was about to win 20 million, he wanted to die. With a few security guards in tow, Gambling Bro went straight to Yushu's slot machine on the first floor. "Yay. I won again. My chips are over 20 million. Yushu cried out in joy. "Ahem. Phew, we might be in trouble." Meng Yao frowned as she reminded Yushu as she looked at the aggressive security guards surrounding them. But Meng Yao wasn't too worried. If worst comes to worst, they could just give up the chips and take back the money they lost. The casino wanted money, and with so many customers around, they couldn't be violent. "Oh." Yushu stopped her bet and looked around. She frowned as well. "Beautiful miss, let me introduce myself. I'm the owner of this casino, people call me Gambling Bro. Gambling Bro said directly. The slot machine in front of you has a malfunction, causing the system to malfunction. It's spitting out chips nonstop, but these don't count. Yushu hesitated. She was usually arrogant and fearless because of Lin Yi, but Lin Yi wasn't there. She wasn't an idiot, and naturally she wouldn't start a fight with this many security guards. But Yushu's eyes lit up as she said arrogantly, Gambling Bro? You're saying that you can't pay up, so you're trying to find an excuse to say that the slot machine is broken? Miss, if that's how you want to interpret it, then there's nothing I can do. Gambling Bro said faintly with a shrug. But to make up for your losses, I've given each of you a 1 million yuan red packet. Take it and leave. 2 million. Do you think I'm a beggar? I won 20 million. Yushu didn't let it go. Meng Yao pulled on Shu's arm, signaling her not to overdo it. Relax, Yao Yao, Shield Bro's here. Yushu whispered into Meng Yao's ear. Oh. Meng Yao smiled bitterly. No wonder Shu was so stubborn, she had someone to back her up. Lin Yi was worried about Meng Yao and Yushu, and this wasn't the best place to recover his qi. Lin Yi stood up after healing his organs and meridians. As for the qi he'd lost and the other injuries, Lin Yi planned to recover slowly when he got back. Boss, are you all right? Qintian had been paying attention to Lin Yi the whole time. He asked when Lin Yi stood up. Boss. Jishan and Jihai looked at Lin Yi, concerned. Haha, I'm fine. Lin Yi nodded and stretched his body. Let's go. Thank you for coming in time and keeping Pu Huati here. This is Pu Huati? Qintian asked as he looked at the corpse on the ground. You know Pu Huati? Lin Yi was surprised. Southeast Asia's gambling king. I heard he came to Donghai recently. I didn't expect him to be killed by us. Qintian said casually. Right, boss, the boss from before is here. After all, the forces in Southeast Asia were too far away for Qintian. No matter what, they wouldn't come looking for trouble on a large scale. Even if Pu Huati's sect was pissed, there was nothing they could do. Chapter 2375. With that, Lin Yi walked over to Qin Shi's sofa to check on her, but very quickly Lin Yi calmed down. Qin Shi was just drugged with sleeping pills and fainted, nothing serious. Lin Yi carried Qin Shi and nodded to Old Pai and the others, indicating that they could leave together. Lin Yi was carrying a girl, the front of his shirt covered in blood, and behind him were 5 bodyguards. It was a strange combination, but the security guards all lowered their heads, not daring to look at Lin Yi and the others. This was probably the result of Gamble Bro's warning. Naturally, Gamble Bro didn't want to offend this group of people. Any one of them could tear his casino apart, and so Gamble Bro had told the security guards not to do anything. When they reached the first floor, Lin Yi raised an eyebrow when he saw Gamble Bro and a group of security guards surrounding Meng Yao and Yushu. Lin Yi didn't think that Meng Yao and Yushu would be in trouble. After all, he was here to cause trouble and no one should be able to link it to Meng Yao and Yushu. Could it be that Gamble Bro saw the recording? But that couldn't be. If Gamble Bro knew how powerful they were, why would he dare to make things difficult for them? But when Lin Yi walked closer and heard the conversation between Yushu and Gamble Bro, he understood immediately. So Yushu won some money and Gamble Bro didn't want to honor his winnings. This made Lin Yi think that Gamble Bro was looking for a beating. How much did Yushu win for Gamble Bro to show up personally? Miss I, Gamble Bro run a casino and naturally I have the capital to do so. We welcome customers to come here to win money, but do you think you could win that much with 20 million chips in front of you by playing a slot machine? Gamble Bro knew that Yushu had noticed the pattern, but he didn't say so. Instead he blamed it on the machine malfunctioning. Other customers, take a look. Has anyone won more than 20 million with this slot machine? As soon as Brother Gamble said that, the customers who had some doubts about his behavior now understood a little. Indeed, those who had played slot machines before knew that it was possible to win a small amount of money with this thing, but to win a lot of money, especially more than 20 million in one go. Was that even possible? It was possible that the slot machine had malfunctioned. Therefore, no one doubted Brother Gamble's words this time. Instead, they felt that Brother Gamble was very benevolent. Logically speaking, if the machine malfunctioned, the chips that they won would be considered invalid. However, Brother Gamble actually took out 2 million as compensation. It was not bad. You know very well whether you can win or not, Yushu said, ignoring Gamble Bro. She waved at someone not far away. Shield Bro. There are people surrounding Shu and Yao Yao sis. Come and save us. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and touched his nose, but he still walked towards the crowd. However, when he saw Lin Yi walking over, Gamble Bro felt as if he was shocked by a high-voltage electricity. His whole body was like a wooden chicken. There were two reasons why he was shocked. First, wasn't Lin Yi dead? How did he come back to life? Second, behind Lin Yi there was Old Pai and a group of people. These people were following behind Lin Yi. They seemed like Lin Yi's follower. This way Lin Yi stood out, but Gamble Bro was even more afraid. Because Yushu called out Lin Yi, this person just killed Pu Huati and Pu Laolu. He also had a sky-class follower. This person was unimaginably strong. He couldn't defend him even if he was beaten to death. Gamble Bro wanted to cry. Was money more important or his life more important? If he knew that this girl in front of him was under the sky, he wouldn't have come down to cause trouble. He saw that Lin Yi even dared to kill the hidden house Zhao and Pu Huati. It was obvious that killing Gamble Bro wasn't difficult at all. Is the machine broken? Lin Yi walked over and looked at Gamble Bro. He asked faintly, Old Pai, can you fix it for him? It's not broken. There's no need to fix it. Gamble Bro saw Old Pai take a step forward and walked over. He was so scared that he almost peed his pants. Sky Class. Asking a Sky Class to fix his machine? It was more like fixing his Gamble Bro. If he still couldn't hear the displeasure in Lin Yi's words, then he would have wasted all his time in this world. If it's not broken, then what are you doing here? Lin Yi asked back. Right, I saw that this lady won a lot of money. I was afraid that someone might rob her, so I brought some security guards to protect her. That's it. Brother Gamble had an idea and quickly said. Is that so? Lin Yi naturally knew that Gamble Bro was talking nonsense. Of course, miss, you can continue to play. Gamble Bro's heart was bleeding. If he continued to play, he would go bankrupt. Forget it, it's boring. Shield Bro, you seem to be hurt? Are you alright? Yushu said, not interested in playing anymore after seeing Lin Yi covered in blood. I'm fine. Let's go home if we don't want to. Lin Yi didn't want to stay in the casino any longer. He wanted to go back and recover his chi as soon as possible. Yushu too could tell that Lin Yi's injuries weren't light. She stopped playing and turned to Gamble Bro. Convert the chips to cash and transfer them to me. Gamble Bro couldn't help but smile bitterly. Miss, our casino doesn't have that much cash right now. Can you give us a few more days? Gamble Bro's arrogance was gone and he was now careful. This made the bystanders look at him with disdain. They all understood that Gamble Bro was just a bully before and now he was afraid of these people. He didn't dare argue with them anymore and could only cash out his chips. But it seemed like he was still trying to cheat. No money. A casino as big as yours doesn't even have 20 million in cash? Yushu naturally didn't believe it. I'm not going to hide it from you. My daughter was kidnapped and I was extorted 20 million yuan by the kidnappers. I really can't come up with so much money in a short time. Do you think you can give me a month? 1 month is enough. Gamble Bro said helplessly. Why was he so unlucky recently? First his daughter was kidnapped and now he offended a bunch of practitioners including a Sky Class. Alright, how much money do you have now? Transfer it to me first. Lin Yi believed Gamble Bro's words. He had just seen someone get kidnapped and Ling Shan was also solving the case, so Lin Yi didn't force him. I have 5 or 6 million now. Gamble Bro said gratefully. Then transfer this first. You can give me the rest when you have money. Lin Yi said. Chapter 2376. Okay. Gambling Bro replied quickly. Lin Yi nodded and left the casino with Meng Yao, Yushu and Elder Pai. Gambling Bro let out a breath of relief, but what gave him a headache was what to do with Pu Huati and Pu Laoyo's corpses. How was he going to explain this to Pu Huati's right Miao clan? Gambling Bro's head pounded at the thought. What an unlucky year. After Lin Yi got home, he locked himself in his room and entered the jade space, quickly healing the remaining injuries in his body. The pure chi from heaven and earth surged into his body, and through the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, it quickly healed Lin Yi's injured meridians and organs. The injuries this time were very serious, even more serious than when he fought against the bodyguard. When he fought against the bodyguard, Lin Yi wasn't forced into the jade space, but this time, Lin Yi's injuries couldn't be any more serious, and he was forcefully pulled in by the jade space. Just like when he saved Guan Xian, it was an involuntary situation. It was a good thing that the art of dragon mastery could heal the meridians very quickly, so he wasn't too worried. Outside the villa's living room, Meng Yao and Yushu were listening to Qintian's recount of what happened in the room. Of course, most of it was from Gambling Bro and Elder Pai, and he didn't see it with his own eyes. He didn't see the dangerous fight between Lin Yi, Pu Huati and Pu Laolu either, so Gambling Bro didn't know what happened. He only knew the cause and the result, but he didn't know what happened. Even so, Meng Yao and Yushu were shaken to the core. They didn't think that their random trip to the casino would turn out to be the right decision, saving Qin Shi. Meng Yao and Yushu weren't too familiar with Qin Shi, but they weren't strangers either. They heard that Hidden House Xiao had given her to Pu Huati as a hostage to lure Lin Yi. Both of them were furious. Yao sis, this Hidden House Xiao is too evil. They want to get someone else to do their dirty work. Shu cursed Zhao Guangyin and Zhao Qibing to be struck by lightning, Yushu said angrily. It's all in the past. If you don't worry about it, Lin Yi will take care of it. Meng Yao was calmer. Lin Yi was dealing with the Hidden House Xiao. Perhaps he would have to make a move sooner or later, but now was definitely not the time. In the room, Lin Yi's injuries were mostly healed, and he was replenishing the true qi in his body. Soon, the pure spiritual qi in the jade space was converted into true qi by the art of dragon mastery, flowing into Lin Yi's meridians and finally into his dantian. Gradually, the true energy within Lin Yi's body was becoming more and more abundant. However, it showed no signs of stopping as it continued to grow. This feeling immediately made Lin Yi happy. This feeling was all too familiar to Lin Yi. This was the sign before every breakthrough. This feeling was the sign of touching the barrier of the level. Lin Yi didn't dare to be careless at this moment. He gathered his thoughts and focused again, speeding up the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, using it as an opportunity to break through. The pure spiritual qi flowed into Lin Yi's meridians through his meridians through Lin Yi's meridians. Under the conversion of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, it turned into waves of true qi, circulating in Lin Yi's meridians. It was about to fill his entire body. Lin Yi, on the other hand, gritted his teeth and continued to use the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. He continued to absorb the pure spiritual qi of heaven and earth. He wanted to break through the barrier in one go. However, it didn't last long. Lin Yi clenched his teeth and persisted for about 15 minutes. The energy was no longer absorbed into his body. No matter how Lin Yi used the chant, he couldn't absorb any more true qi. Sigh. Lin Yi sighed. He knew he couldn't do it anymore. He could only stop and let out a light sigh, feeling a little regretful. This time he was injured, healed, and recovered his true qi. It was a very good opportunity to break through the barrier. Lin Yi had been waiting for this opportunity for a long time, but in the end he still failed. However, Lin Yi didn't want to give up this golden opportunity. After a short rest, he began to use the second stage of the art of dragon mastery again, trying to break through for the second time. This time, Lin Yi used a more extreme method, using the method of absorbing and compressing energy to break through. Since the normal method of breaking through did not work, then Lin Yi could only try to break through by force. Thus, Lin Yi used the art of dragon mastery, gathering all the energy in the space of the jade pendant around him, and began to compress the energy around him. This was a last resort. Lin Yi didn't want to give up just like that, so he could only try to break through by force. Not far away, Jiao Lao looked at Lin Yi and shook his head. He was already somewhat indifferent to Lin Yi's madness. From his point of view, as long as Lin Yi didn't die, it was fine. The pain was also self-inflicted. He was already used to it. Lin Yi took a deep breath and absorbed the compressed energy into his body. In an instant, Lin Yi's face suddenly turned red, showing an unhealthy expression. The compressed energy in Lin Yi's body was released in an instant. Lin Yi only felt like he was a balloon that was about to burst. His whole body was like a balloon bulging up and down uncomfortably. His 5 viscera and 6 bowels felt like they were compressed together, squeezed to the point where there was no space at all. Ah! Lin Yi screamed in agony as beads of sweat rolled down his determined face. He couldn't help but scream in agony as he felt like he was about to explode from the excruciating pain. Finally, Lin Yi couldn't take it anymore. Pfft! He spat out a mouthful of blood. His whole body felt like it was about to explode, and there was a boom in his head. However, what Lin Yi couldn't accept was that he could endure the pain, but he couldn't break through. This was what made him very depressed. Almost just a little bit more. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and complained in a very depressed manner. Jiao Lao, I almost broke through. Above Earth class, you can't forcefully break through by compressing your vital energy. If you continue to try, won't it just increase the pain? Jiao Yazi looked at Lin Yi and shook his head. There's a saying, more haste, less speed. You're still a little bit away from breaking through. I'm afraid it's not possible for you to break through by force. I can't break through today? Lin Yi asked a little unwillingly. Breaking through today isn't very realistic, Jiao Yazi said. AI, after this time, I'm afraid it won't be easy to encounter such an opportunity again. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Now that his injuries were healed, it was a good opportunity. Chapter 2377. His meridians had just been repaired and they were still very resilient. They hadn't stabilized yet and it was perfect for forcefully breaking through. After a few more days, it would be even more difficult to break through. Then try again. Jiao Yazi didn't try to persuade Lin Yi anymore. He knew Lin Yi's personality. He was the type of person who would try as long as there was a sliver of hope. Lin Yi quickly repaired the parts of his meridians that were damaged by the qi bomb before continuing to compress the energy bomb, starting the second attempt. Boom. The second attempt to compress his true qi failed. Boom. The third attempt to compress his true qi failed. Boom. The 10th attempt to compress his true qi failed. Lin Yi felt a sense of defeat. Could it be that he was too impatient? Just a little bit more and he could break through. But it was this little bit that kept Lin Yi at Earth class mid-phase. I don't want to give up. Lin Yi roared furiously. Yes, he really didn't want to give up. He was just a little bit away from breaking through to Earth class mid-phase peak, but because of that little bit he couldn't break through. He had already controlled the amount of energy he could compress to the limit. Any more and it would explode outside his body. If Lin Yi took in a little more qi or if his practitioner's arts circulated a little faster, he would be able to break through in the same amount of time, but wait, faster practitioner's arts? Lin Yi suddenly remembered something important. Wu Chintian. Lin Yi came back to reality from the jade space and called out to the living room outside. Boss, what's wrong? Chintian quickly ran over and pushed open the door to Lin Yi's room. You and Yao Yao go get Wang Xinyan. Lin Yi quickly ordered. Hurry up, it's urgent. I need her urgently, it'll be too late if we're late. Chintian froze. Wasn't the boss a little too horny? Did he need Wang Xinyan urgently? However, when he saw the anxious and solemn expression on Lin Yi's face, he did not dare to ask too much. He quickly nodded and said, okay, I'll go now. Lin Yi's voice wasn't soft at all and Meng Yao and Yushu heard it as well. They looked at each other strangely, shocked by Lin Yi's words as well. Lin Yi wouldn't have gone crazy again, would he? Yao Yao, is shield bro in heat? Yushu said in surprise. Shu, Lin Yi's acting weird, let's go find Xinyan. Meng Yao understood Lin Yi's personality. If Lin Yi really needed a woman after going crazy, he would have gone straight to Shu or even her. There was no need for him to go to Wang Xinyan. After all, Meng Yao thought that Xinyan might become Lin Yi's girlfriend. But at least the two of them weren't really in a relationship other than an ambiguous one. So with Lin Yi's personality, he wouldn't go to bed with Xinyan. There was no way he was going to get Wang Xinyan to sleep with him. There had to be something else. Oh, okay. Yushu nodded. He was just saying it casually. She wouldn't mess around or joke at a critical moment like this. She hurried out of the villa with Chintian and ran to the car. Elder Pai, you guys protect the boss. I'll go with Yao Yao and the others. Chintian said quickly. Okay. Don't worry, we're here. Elder Pai patted his chest. He had a sky class with him and as long as it wasn't a troublesome enemy he would be able to handle it. Chintian nodded. He quickly got into the jeep in the yard and Meng Yao and Yushu got in as well. The three of them rushed to school. Wang Xinyan should be in the dorm at this time. It was Sunday. It was afternoon and even the students who had gone home were back in their rooms. Plus, Wang Xinyan didn't seem to be home during the weekend. Her parents seemed to be very busy. Meng Yao and Yushu knew where Xinyan's dorm was. Chintian parked the car downstairs and Meng Yao and Yushu rushed up and knocked on Xinyan's door. It wasn't Xinyan who opened the door, but another girl from Xinyan's dorm, Chai Xiaoling, Zhao Xingji's girlfriend. Meng Yao and Yushu had gone to the Tiger Lion Park with her before, and they'd had a meal together. Yao Yao Shu? Are you here for Xinyan? Xiaoling could guess why Meng Yao and Yushu were here. She and he Meiyue knew Meng Yao and Yushu, but they didn't interact much with them. Xinyan was the only one who seemed to have a good relationship with them. Xiaoling was very curious sometimes. Meng Yao and Yushu seemed to have some kind of relationship with Lin Yi, and so did Xinyan. The three of them seemed to be very close at the same time. It was weird. And where's Xinyan? Meng Yao said hurriedly. Because Lin Yi's tone was very, very urgent, it must have been a big problem, and so Meng Yao didn't dare to be slow. She didn't bother greeting Xiaoling politely and asked directly. Xinyan's in the shower, what's wrong? What's wrong? Xiaoling was curious why Meng Yao was in such a hurry. Shower? Meng Yao blinked. She didn't expect Xinyan to be in the shower at this time. She was in a difficult position. And how long has she been in the shower? About 5 minutes, right? Xiaoling was even more confused about why Meng Yao was in such a rush. What happened? Meng Yao didn't know how to explain it, and she was in a dilemma. Yushu, on the other hand, charged into Xinyan's dorm room and pulled up a sheet from what looked like Xinyan's bed before rushing into the bathroom. Who's there? Xinyan screamed when she saw someone opening the bathroom door. She didn't hear Meng Yao and Yushu coming to the dorm because of the shower, so she jumped when Shu opened the door. This was a girl's room and boys weren't allowed to enter. Xinyan didn't lock the door, but under normal circumstances, roommates wouldn't open the door. Xinyan breathed a sigh of relief when she saw it was Yushu, but at the same time she was puzzled. What was Yushu doing here? Xinyan sis, come with us. Shield bro needs you. With that, Yushu turned off the shower and covered Xinyan with the bedsheet. She wrapped Xinyan up like a mummy and pushed her out of the room. Yushu's eyes lit up as she walked out of the room. Chapter 2378. Too coincidental, ah? What are you talking about? Stop it. Xinyan didn't understand what Yushu was trying to do, and was pushed out of the washroom. Shield bro really needs you, he's dying, it's too late. Yushu didn't know why Lin Yi was in such a rush to find Xinyan, but she just wanted Xinyan to hurry up. Dying? Xinyan was shocked. What do you mean? What's wrong with him? It's a long story, come with us. Yushu said as she pushed Xinyan. Let me put on some clothes first. Xinyan smiled bitterly. It's too late, Yao Yao, help us. Yushu waved at Meng Yao. Meng Yao didn't want to play around with Yushu, but it'd take a lot of time for Xinyan to put on some clothes. She grabbed a jacket that she suspected to be Xinyan's and draped it over Xinyan's body, pushing Xinyan out with Yushu. Xinyan didn't know what to do. If she didn't know that Meng Yao and Yushu couldn't be kidnappers, she would have thought that she was kidnapped again. But looking at how worried they were, Lin Yi must have really made a mistake. Xinyan didn't insist, and just like that she was pushed out of the room with the jacket wrapped around her and went downstairs. It wasn't to the extent of exposing herself, since she was wrapped tightly in the sheet, but it still attracted a lot of weird looks from her classmates. But Xinyan didn't have anything to explain, and just followed Meng Yao and Yushu out of the girls' dorm, getting into the jeep. Qintian was surprised to see Xinyan dressed like this, but he didn't say anything. He started the car and drove back to the villa in the Xueshang district. Now can you guys tell me what happened to Lin Yi? Xinyan was a little troubled. What the hell was she doing with her naked body wrapped in a sheet? She looked like a mistress who got caught in the act. We don't know either. Meng Yao shrugged apologetically. Xinyan paused. If you guys don't know, then why did you make me come out in such a hurry? Lin Yi ran into an enemy and got heavily injured. He's been recovering in his room since he got home, but he suddenly called Wu Qintian over, saying that he really needs you. He wants us to bring you over immediately. Meng Yao explained. That's it. We don't know why he's looking for you, but he seems to be in a hurry. Is that so? Xinyan blinked, but something seemed to have dawned on her. Could it be that Lin Yi's healing had failed and he needed her sent to help him? Xinyan blushed at the thought. Xinyan sis, you have to be careful. Shield bro might be in heat, Yushu said. Xinyan's face turned even redder at the thought of what she was wearing. It was embarrassing enough having Lin Yi sniff her scent while he healed, and now she wasn't wearing anything at all. Yushu thought that Xinyan believed her when she saw the blush. She smiled mischievously. Xinyan sis, now that you're Shield bro's woman, you have to get along well with Yao Yao sis. Don't bully her. ? Xinyan didn't know what Shu was talking about, not understanding what was going on. Shu, don't talk nonsense. What does this have to do with me? Meng Yao glared at Yushu. I'm just worried that Yao Yao sis will get bullied in the future. We're alone. Yushu mumbled but didn't continue. It didn't take long for the car to arrive at the villa's entrance. Meng Yao and Yushu dragged Xinyan into the villa, pushing her into Lin Yi's bedroom without caring if she wanted to or not. Shu even pulled off Xinyan's jacket and pushed her onto Lin Yi's bed before quickly closing the door with Meng Yao. Ha ha ha. Yushu smiled mischievously. Yao Yao, you've achieved your goal. What do you mean my goal? Meng Yao had been trying to get Lin Yi and Xinyan together, but now that it was over she felt a little uncomfortable. It was as if someone had stolen something from her. It was a complicated feeling. It's nothing. Yushu surprisingly stopped messing around. Xinyan sis is a good person, she doesn't have any bad intentions. You'll get along well with Yao Yao sis in the future, I'm not worried. What? Meng Yao blinked, not understanding what Yushu was saying. It's nothing. Yushu shook her head before resuming her smile. Detective Shu 007, go check if Shield Bro did push Xinyan sis down. With that, Yushu put her ear to Lin Yi's door. Lin Yi, on the other hand, had been compressing the energy bomb, waiting for Wang Xinyan's arrival before breaking through the barrier in one go. Now that Wang Xinyan was here, it was only natural that he started preparing to break through the barrier. Lin Yi. Xinyan jumped at the sight of the blood on Lin Yi's body, not knowing what to do. Come closer to me. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Xinyan's situation. Xinyan was wrapped in a bedsheet and there were water stains on her hair. She'd been showering when Meng Yao and Yushu brought her back forcefully. Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? Yeah. Xinyan replied softly. She was a little embarrassed, but Lin Yi was in such a pitiful state that she didn't dare tarry. Her body trembled as she moved closer to Lin Yi, her heart pounding, her face red as well. It wasn't the first time she'd been intimate with Lin Yi after all. They'd slept together during military training, and Xinyan always tried to get close to Lin Yi with less clothes on during class. But today was a little different. Meng Yao and Yushu were outside after all, and Xinyan couldn't bring herself to do that. They probably thought that Lin Yi wanted to sleep with her, didn't they? Xinyan's face was as red as blood at the thought. The aroma on Xinyan's body was like a shot of adrenaline into Lin Yi's body, and with the help of the balm Lin Yi's qi reached its peak. Lin Yi quickly channeled the art of dragon mastery. He could clearly feel that he was about to break through. Chapter 2379. Lin Yi started channeling the chant of the art of dragon mastery crazily. Lin Yi's body was covered in sweat as if he was in a steamer. His expression was one of pain and agony. Come closer. Lin Yi felt that he was so close to success. Oh, okay. Xinyan subconsciously moved her body closer to Lin Yi. Her whole body was about to be pressed against Lin Yi's body. This made Xinyan even more embarrassed. It wasn't like the two hadn't been close before during the military training, but it was different now. Xinyan only had a sheet on her. Just a little more, can you remove the sheet a little more? Lin Yi felt that this was a little too much, but at this moment Lin Yi had no choice but to do this. He didn't want to give up. He was at the barrier of the middle face peak, just a little more and he'd be able to break through. I'm inside. Xinyan wanted to say that she wasn't wearing anything underneath, but she saw the look on Lin Yi's face. She was scared that she'd delay Lin Yi's recovery. She didn't care anymore. She'd seen everything during the military training anyway, now wouldn't make a difference. And so, Xinyan made up her mind and removed the sheet on her body, pressing her whole body on Lin Yi's body. Lin Yi felt a fragrant and soft body fall into his arms. His lower body suddenly heated up, but Lin Yi knew that this wasn't the time to think about other things. He quickly focused his mind and channeled the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. Boom. Lin Yi felt the fragrance on Xinyan's body fusing with the pure qi in his body, forming a ball of heat that rushed into his dantian and spread out. That heat wave split into countless small streams of pure qi, spreading through his meridians and nourishing them. He broke through. He had finally broken through. Lin Yi was overjoyed. The breakthrough this time was a bumpy one, but the result was good. Wang Xinyan, on the other hand, was a big part of the credit. If it weren't for her, he wouldn't have been able to break through today. But when he thought of Wang Xinyan, the joy in Lin Yi's heart was extinguished by awkwardness. How was he supposed to face Wang Xinyan? Lin Yi didn't open his eyes, but his perception in the jade space allowed him to feel everything around him even more clearly than seeing it with his own eyes. Looking at Xinyan's naked body, Lin Yi suppressed the urge in his heart, feeling a little troubled. This time, they were in big trouble. In the past it was all a misunderstanding. But this time could it still be considered a misunderstanding? How was he supposed to explain this to Xinyan? How would he face her in the future? Lin Yi suddenly had a headache. He really didn't think that Wang Xinyan would be brought here by Meng Yao and Yushu in a situation like this. If Xinyan hadn't taken a shower, he could have just unbuttoned her shirt like usual, but this time, there was nothing under the bed sheet. Lin Yi was in an awkward situation, but it seemed that Xinyan was in an even more awkward situation. Although her body was pressed against Lin Yi, her breathing was rapid and her face was frighteningly red. She didn't dare move at all, her body frozen on the bed, her eyes closed, and she just lay there like an idiot. Sigh. Lin Yi sighed. If he were to open his eyes and talk to her right now, both of them would be in an awkward situation. After all, Lin Yi and Wang Xinyan had a little something going on between them, but it wasn't to the point where they were naked. And so Lin Yi made a quick decision. He'd pretend to be asleep for now, pretending not to know anything. Letting Xinyan leave on her own was probably the best solution. Otherwise, Lin Yi really wouldn't know how to face Xinyan. At that thought, Lin Yi's breathing became even. Lin Yi had been on many special missions before, and it was very easy for him to pretend to be asleep. Others wouldn't be able to see through it. As expected, Xinyan waited for a long time, her body stiff beside Lin Yi, not daring to move or look at Lin Yi. Suddenly she heard Lin Yi's even breathing. She couldn't help but be startled. After listening carefully for a while, she realized that Lin Yi seemed to have fallen asleep. Xinyan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It seemed that Lin Yi really was asleep, but she had to admit that this was the best possible outcome for her. She didn't have to face Lin Yi awake and she wouldn't feel awkward. But in her heart she was still a little disappointed. Lin Yi was asleep? Didn't he know that she was lying naked beside him? Did he not have any sexual interest for her? Did he just fall asleep like that? A girl's thoughts were always contradictory. On one hand she was afraid of the awkwardness, but on the other she was a little annoyed. Did Lin Yi not care about her? In that moment of hesitation, Xinyan wrapped herself in the bedsheet and put on a cotton coat. She quietly opened Lin Yi's door and left. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't open his eyes, but he could clearly see what was going on outside. Looking at the beautiful Xinyan beside him, especially the naked Xinyan, Lin Yi almost had a nosebleed. Fortunately, he'd vomited too much before and he didn't have enough blood left in him. Phew. Lin Yi waited until Xinyan left the room before letting out a long breath, suppressing the excitement in his heart. This excitement was the excitement of seeing Xinyan's naked body, and the joy of leveling up to Earth class mid-phase peak. Lin kid, I didn't think you'd use this method to level up. How shameless. Jiao Yazi said with disdain. At Jiao Lao, I had no other choice. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Never mind, but congratulations, you found a new way to level up. Jiao Yazi said. Huh. Lin Yi started laughing like an idiot. Xinyan let out a yelp when she opened the door because she bumped into Shu, who was standing at the door. She didn't expect Yushu to be eavesdropping at the door. Why are you here? Oh, I was just worried about Shield Bro, so I came to check up on him. Yushu was a little embarrassed that she was caught eavesdropping. Oh, Xinyan sis, your chest is pretty big too, a little bigger than Yao Yao sis. Xinyan was speechless. What was she talking about? She blushed, but for some reason she said, not as big as you. Chapter 2380. Didn't you hear it already? Xinyan didn't know what to do with the curious Yushu. Alright, do you have any clothes? Can you help me find some? Why do I look so weird like this? Xinyan wasn't like this right now, but she couldn't just walk around in a bed all the time, could she? It was just too weird. I found some for you, Xinyan. Go upstairs and change, we're about the same size. You should be able to wear my clothes. Meng Yao had expected this to happen. She'd prepared a new set of clothes in the bedroom upstairs. Thanks. Xinyan nodded to Meng Yao. We're the ones who should be thanking Lin Yi, it's all thanks to you. Meng Yao said. Lin Yi's my friend too, it's nothing. Xinyan shook her head and quickly followed Meng Yao upstairs. Qintian, Pai Jishan, Pai Jihai, and even Elder Pai and Gong Gao were all very curious as to why Lin Yi was looking for Xinyan, but it wasn't their place to ask. They could only pretend that they didn't know anything. Fu. Xinyan stumbled onto Mingyao's bed the moment she got there, her face red as if she'd lost all her strength. Her heart was pounding like it was going to jump out of her chest at any moment. Oh, Xinyan sis, did that feel good? Can you share it with us? Yushu asked sneakily as she followed Xinyan into the bedroom. What? Xinyan hadn't recovered from her nervousness. She jumped at Yushu's question. What did it feel like? It's the feeling of ***. Wasn't Shield Bro looking for you to ***? Yushu said as she looked Xinyan up and down, trying to find a flaw in her. Ugh. Xinyan understood what Yushu was saying. It seemed like she'd been misunderstood. But anyone would think too much about it since Lin Yi said that he needed her. It was normal for Yushu to think the wrong things. But she didn't know how to explain it. She didn't know if Lin Yi was a secret, and she didn't know if she could tell Meng Yao and Yushu. Shoo, stop guessing, there's nothing going on between Xinyan and Lin Yi. Xinyan didn't look like she'd just been pushed down at least. Xinyan was walking normally, and she'd be in Lin Yi's room right now if she'd been pushed down. She wouldn't be running out of the room in such a hurry. Oh. Yushu was just joking, 'cause Meng Yao didn't want her to ask too much. Xinyan sis, what Shield Bro was looking for you for? I think we should wait for Lin Yi to come out and let him tell you guys. I don't know if I can tell him. Xinyan said, troubled. Okay, we'll wait for Lin Yi then. Meng Yao could tell that Xinyan had something she couldn't talk about, so she stopped asking. I've prepared the clothes, but you didn't finish showering, right? The bathroom in the room can be used for showering. You go first, I'll go downstairs with Shu. Okay, thanks. Xinyan nodded, relieved that Meng Yao wasn't going to press her for more information. Meng Yao pulled Yushu downstairs and Xinyan went to the bathroom. She really did need a shower after all. The blood from Lin Yi's body was all over her body and it was quite scary. Lin Yi changed his clothes and walked out of the room to see Meng Yao and Yushu coming downstairs. But Xinyan wasn't there. Yao Shu, where's Xinyan? She's showering and changing upstairs. Meng Yao said. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. It's all thanks to you guys. Lin Yi said with a smile. Right, Shield Bro, why are you looking for Xinyan sis? Yushu asked curiously. Let's talk about that later. This involved Xinyan's privacy and Elder Pai and the others were in the room. Lin Yi couldn't say much. Oh. Yushu nodded and didn't ask any more questions. After a while, Xinyan came downstairs in a brand new outfit. She paused when she saw Lin Yi in the living room, who was also wearing a new outfit. She opened her mouth as if she wanted to say something, but didn't know what to say. The atmosphere in the living room was getting awkward all of a sudden. Xinyan. Thank you. Lin Yi looked at Xinyan, overwhelmed with emotions. He wanted to thank her but didn't know what to say. Recalling the ambiguous atmosphere, Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a headache coming on from where he stood with Xinyan. You're welcome. Xinyan stuttered. She thought that Lin Yi was asleep and that she'd change her clothes and come downstairs. She'd be able to leave as soon as possible and calm down for the night. Everyone would calm down at school tomorrow, and it wouldn't be too awkward as long as she didn't bring it up on purpose. But she didn't expect Lin Yi to come out so soon and change his clothes as well. She'd only taken a quick shower in the bathroom before putting on her clothes and going downstairs. It didn't take up too much time, so she was sure that Lin Yi wasn't asleep at all. He was just pretending to be asleep. Xinyan felt a little empty and disappointed at the thought. Did he not like her? Otherwise, why would he pretend to be asleep? Wang Xinyan didn't say anything after that. She went silent. Lin Yi, on the other hand, smiled bitterly as he scratched his head. He didn't know what to do. If it was Xiao or even Shu, Lin Yi could face it calmly, but Xinyan. There was a bit of ambiguity between the two, but it hadn't been made public. But now, be my girlfriend. Lin Yi extended his hand to Xinyan and took a deep breath. He wasn't an irresponsible person, and it wasn't that he didn't like Xinyan. Things had come to this point and Lin Yi had to do something. It was a little too fast, but Lin Yi felt that it would be unfair to Xinyan if he didn't do something. But he felt sorry for Xiao. She agreed to let him find a wife, but wasn't this a little too fast? Xinyan froze. She didn't think that Lin Yi would say something like this after a long silence. Chapter 2381. Xinyan stared at Lin Yi blankly. She'd thought about their relationship before and she'd thought that things between her and Lin Yi wouldn't work out because of her family and House Kong. She'd been suppressing her feelings for Lin Yi, trying her best not to let things get out of hand with Lin Yi. But while she kept reminding herself to stay calm, she'd done a lot of things she couldn't forgive. Like hugging Lin Yi, watching a movie with Lin Yi, and now she was naked with Lin Yi. She didn't like Xiaolong and she didn't like the marriage with House Kong, but her family had already agreed to it. She felt like she shouldn't be doing this. It felt like cheating and it made her feel guilty. But Xinyan had to admit that being with Lin Yi was very pleasurable. It was comfortable, and the occasional flirtatious moment, the heartbeat was unforgettable and satisfying. She even wished that she could be the desk maid of Lin Yi forever, never having to graduate, never having to face that marriage. But unconsciously, Xinyan's heart was leaning more and more towards Lin Yi. She was getting more and more rebellious and she didn't want to think about marriage anymore. But she knew that some things couldn't be changed. She was just lying to herself. When Lin Yi displayed his extraordinary strength, and when she saw Lin Yi's followers getting stronger and stronger, even Elder Pai becoming Lin Yi's follower, Xinyan's heart was filled with anticipation. The common Xiao family's support was the hidden House Pai, and now that the hidden House Pai had become Lin Yi's follower, it shouldn't be too hard for Elder Pai to talk to the Xiao family and cancel the marriage, right? But Xinyan didn't think that Lin Yi's confession would come so quickly. It caught her off guard. From her point of view, she should at least break off the engagement before she could be with Lin Yi. Ever since she was young, she had always been an obedient girl, so she always felt that it was a crime to be with Lin Yi without breaking off the engagement. It made her feel a deep sense of guilt. This was also the reason why she was stunned for a moment. She didn't know how to answer Lin Yi. Agree? Don't agree? Xinyan's heart was pounding furiously. She couldn't make up her mind, not knowing what to do. Xinyan was a little taken aback. She really wanted to say yes to Lin Yi, but there were so many people in the room, especially in front of Meng Yao and Yushu. She couldn't bring herself to just nod her head like that. This seemed to be threatening Lin Yi. Did he say that because he wanted to be responsible for himself? Why else would he pretend to be asleep? All of a sudden, Xinyan's heart was a mess. All sorts of things were rushing into her mind, making her feel dizzy. She wanted to run away, but somehow Xinyan ran out of the villa, disappearing from everyone's line of sight. Lin Yi paused. It was easy for him to stop Xinyan, but if she were to leave now, did that mean she was rejecting him? Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly. He didn't know what Xinyan was thinking. Logically speaking, she should have feelings for him, right? Otherwise, why would she help him with his training so many times? For a girl to make a sacrifice like this, it was enough to prove her feelings, but why did she run away all of a sudden? Shield Bro's confession failed. Yushu was a little puzzled. Xinyan seemed to like Lin Yi, so why did it fail? Meng Yao glared at her. At this moment, Lin Yi was in a bad mood after his confession failed. Shu's words were like adding oil to the fire. But she didn't know why, but Meng Yao felt relieved. Was it because Xinyan didn't accept Lin Yi's confession? But why did she feel that it was a pity? Was it because she hoped that Lin Yi and Xinyan could be together? Was it because of his promise to Tang Yun? Old Pai and the others could see the awkwardness in the air as well. It was best if they didn't stay in the villa any longer. It wouldn't look good on Lin Yi. He cleared his throat. Jishan, Jihai, Qintian, Elder Wu, let's go for a stroll. The weather's nice today. Everyone responded, naturally understanding what Old Pai was thinking. It was indeed awkward for them to stay here, so it was best if they left. Lin Yi didn't stop them, but before Qintian walked out, Lin Yi said, "Look after her, don't let anything happen to her." Got it, boss? Qintian understood immediately. Lin Yi didn't say it that clearly, but he knew that Lin Yi wanted him to keep an eye on Xinyan. With a bitter smile, Lin Yi sat on the sofa with Yushu and Meng Yao beside him. Shield Bro, you failed at hitting on the girl? Do you need Shu to analyze it for you? Yushu asked. What do you know? Stop analyzing. Meng Yao interrupted. Go get me some water, I'm a little thirsty. Oh. Yushu didn't look like she was unwilling this time. She stood up happily and walked towards the kitchen. Lin Yi, Xinyan's probably a little confused for a moment. It's not that she doesn't want to accept your confession. Meng Yao was more attentive to details and came to this conclusion after some thought. She wasn't too sure, but she was just trying to comfort him and make him feel better. It's fine, Lin Yi said with a smile. I know, okay, it's good that you know. Don't be too disappointed, Xinyan actually likes you. Meng Yao said. What happened today was too sudden. I'd probably hesitate if you confessed to me all of a sudden. Of course, if you confess a few more times, I'd probably say yes. Oh. Lin Yi nodded, not thinking much about it. Disappointment flashed in Ming Yao's eyes. Did he really get it? He didn't seem to. Yushu came back with a cup of tea and handed it to Lin Yi. Right, shield bro, why were you looking for Xinyan, sis? Chapter 2382. The tea's a little hot. Let's drink it later. Yushu said quickly when she saw Lin Yi looking at her strangely. Oh. Lin Yi wasn't in a good mood, so he didn't think too much about it. There's a special scent on Wang's Xinyan. I wonder if you guys noticed it? Scent? Meng Yao blinked, but after thinking about it, Xinyan did seem to have a faint scent on her, something that could only be smelled close to her. Meng Yao was sitting next to Xinyan when they went to the Tiger Lion Park, and she did smell it. It was a nice scent that made people feel comfortable and safe. Meng Yao thought that it was perfume, but now that Lin Yi was talking about it, it didn't seem like perfume at all. Meng Yao had used a lot of perfume brands, but this was the first time she smelled it. She nodded. I think so, it smells pretty good. What's wrong? Oh, Shu smelled it too. It really does smell like a fragrant herb. Yushu nodded as well. Yeah, I slept with Xinyan in the barracks during military training, and I found out that this scent can speed up my training. Lin Yi said. My training speed has increased quite a bit recently, and it's all thanks to Xinyan. Oh, I get it. You were about to break through the level barrier just now, weren't you? You were just a little bit away from it, and that's why I called Xinyan here. Meng Yao said. She understood what was going on after hearing Lin Yi's explanation. Yeah, that's it. Lin Yi nodded. I was injured in a fight at the casino, but at the same time I found an opportunity to break through the barrier. It's just a little bit away, but I can't break through no matter how hard I try. That's why I asked you guys to get Xinyan here. Then, Shield bro, did you break through now? Yushu was very surprised. She didn't think that Lin Yi was looking for Xinyan for this reason. Wasn't this too amazing? Was Wang Xinyan a moving cultivation furnace? Yes, but Wang Xinyan took off the sheets to let her body smell better. So I think I should take responsibility. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. After that, he naturally picked up the teacup on the coffee table and prepared to take a sip of tea. Oh wait. Yushu snatched the teacup from Lin Yi's hands and put it back on the table. Still pretty hot. Drink it later. Question mark. Lin Yi looked at Yushu strangely, not understanding what was going on. Shu, what are you doing? Meng Yao was confused by Shu's actions as well. She snatched the teacup from Meng Yao's hands. I'll drink first, I'm a little thirsty. Xiao Shu's hand loosened and the teacup fell to the ground. It broke into pieces and the tea inside spilled all over the floor. Shu, are you trying to rebel? Meng Yao didn't know what to say at the sight of Shu breaking the teacup. Oh. Shu's hand slipped. I'll go clean it up now. Yushu stood up and went to get a broom and mop, as if she'd let out a sigh of relief. Meng Yao opened her mouth but didn't say anything. Why was Shu acting so weird today? Her mind, however, was on Lin Yi. About Xinyan. I'll give her a call later. I have her number and it's easier for us girls to talk to each other. I'll ask for you? Thanks. Lin Yi said. Yeah. Meng Yao looked at Lin Yi, feeling a little emotional. Why hadn't anyone asked for her before? This Shu guy. It didn't take long for Yushu to clean up the broken teacup before mopping the floor. Grandma Sun had been with Faubert for the past couple of days, and Faubert and Pingzhan were both in Donghai dealing with business matters. The housework had fallen on everyone's shoulders. It's done. Yushu sighed in relief as if a huge burden had been lifted off her shoulders. Shu, what's wrong? You don't have a fever today, do you? Why do I feel like something's wrong? Meng Yao felt that Yushu wasn't quite herself today. It's nothing, I'm fine. Yushu said. Lin Yi had broken through the level barrier, but there were still a lot of things he needed to think about after today's fight. He nodded to Meng Yao and Yushu. I'm going back to my room. I need to work on some martial arts questions. You guys talk. Yeah, okay. Meng Yao, on the other hand, hoped that Lin Yi could do something else to distract himself from Xinyan's rejection. Lin Yi went into his room and started thinking about the reason for activating Mu Linsun's sky-splitting claw to date. There was the previous failure of Spring Rain. But from Lin Yi's perspective, Spring Rain failed because he didn't have a water attribute in his body. Mu Linsun's sky-splitting claw, on the other hand, was different. He could activate Mu Linsun's 1,000 transformations with ease, and since he could use Sky-Splitting Claw with Fiery Fist, it meant that he had no problem activating it. So why did Mu Linsun's Sky-Splitting Claw fail? Lin Yi frowned. He couldn't figure it out, so he started using Mu Linsun's 1,000 transformations incantation again, following the method of activating Sky-Splitting Claw. He started activating the first form, Mu Linsun's Sky-Splitting Claw. This time Lin Yi didn't try to activate the fifth form right away. He tested it with the first form, but the result was tragic. The activation still failed, and it didn't even feel as good as when he activated Spring Rain. Although the activation of Spring Rain from the sky had failed, the initial process was smooth. It was only the final step to release it. However, Mu Linsun's Heaven-Splitting Claw was different. It could not be activated at all. It was as if the mantra and the activation method did not match. How strange. Lin Yi tried again, and after confirming that he couldn't use Mu Linsun's Sky-Splitting Earth-Splitting Claw, he stopped. There was no point in trying anymore. Chapter 2383. That's right. Lin Yi suddenly thought of a fact. The Heaven and Earth Splitting Claw was a fire attribute martial arts technique, and the Frenzied Fire Fist was also a fire attribute martial arts technique. Therefore, these two martial arts techniques could be combined. By using the mantra of the Frenzied Fire Fist and the activation method of the Heaven and Earth Splitting Claw, they could form a new martial arts technique. However, the Wood Forest 1,000 transformations was different. This was a wood attribute mental cultivation technique, which was different from the fire attribute Heaven and Earth Splitting Claw. Therefore, this should be the reason why the two could not be successfully activated when combined. Thinking of this, Lin Yi's mind suddenly lit up. He combined the Frenzied Fire Fist and the Wood Forest 1,000 transformations and tried to activate them, but it ended in failure. Moreover, regardless of whether Lin Yi combined the mantra of the Frenzied Fire Fist with the Wood Forest 1,000 transformations or the mantra of the Wood Forest 1,000 transformations with the Frenzied Fire Fist, they did not succeed. This indirectly proved that Lin Yi's previous guess and judgment were correct. Only martial arts techniques of the same attribute could be combined with each other. Martial arts techniques of different attributes could not be combined. In other words, if Park Lalyo's martial arts technique was not a fire attribute or wood attribute, but a metal attribute, water attribute, or earth attribute martial art technique, Lin Yi would not have been able to imitate it. He definitely would not have been able to activate it. Thinking of this, Lin Yi secretly praised his luck. He was really lucky. Park Lalyo's martial arts technique happened to be of the fire attribute. Lin Yi also hit the mark by chance. He directly combined it with the Frenzied Fire Fist that he was most familiar with and successfully activated it. At that time, if Lin Yi had combined the Wood Forest 1,000 transformations and failed to activate it, Lin Yi might not have thought so much and given up on experimenting with the Frenzied Fire Fist in a moment of desperation. Then it would have been a disaster. However, when Lin Yi figured this out, a new question arose. That was, why could Taganlong's 5 elements 8 trigrams palm be combined with the Frenzied Fire Fist and the Wood Forest 1,000 transformations? What kind of martial skill was this 5 elements 8 trigrams palm? 5 elements. Lin Yi subconsciously twitched his mouth. Could it really belong to the 5 elements? Could it be that this was a martial skill that could be used by all 5 elements? Thinking of this, Lin Yi could not help but secretly click his tongue. This Taganlong was really lucky to actually cultivate such a martial technique. However, Lin Yi suddenly thought of the colorful vital qi on Taganlong's body. Could it be that he had a 5-elemental constitution and was using the 5-elemental vital qi to activate the 5-elemental 8 trigram palm? Thinking about it, it was really possible. If he didn't play, why would the power of his martial arts be so abnormal? If Taganlong really had a 5-elemental constitution and had the 5-elemental vital qi, then the third style of the 5 elements 8 trigram palm should be as powerful as the 15th style of an ordinary high-grade martial arts technique. However, Taganlong obviously did not do it. Of course, this was only a theoretical figure. Although the strength of a martial arts technique had a lot to do with the skill itself, it was also related to the proficiency of the cultivator. For example, when Lin Yi used the Frenzied Fire Fist, his proficiency was higher than Faubert's. Therefore, when Lin Yi used the Frenzied Fire Fist, the first style was equivalent to the power of the second style of an ordinary martial arts technique and so on. However, Faubert could not do it. Therefore, although Taganlong's martial arts technique was powerful, Theory was theory and reality was reality. It was already very rare for him to be able to unleash the current power. After deducing the power of Taganlong's martial arts technique, Lin Yi was a little covetous. Even if he had a three-elemental constitution of wood, fire, and metal, if he were to cultivate the 5 elements 8 trigram palm, he should be able to unleash the power of the 15th style in the 5th style. That would be awesome enough. The power was simply heaven-defying. No wonder Taganlong was so strong. However, Lin Yi had cultivated the omnipotent martial arts technique and could master any martial arts technique that could be cultivated. This way he would definitely be stronger than Taganlong. Phew. Lin Yi let out a long breath and silently recited Taganlong's name. It seemed that when he was strong enough he should go to the Taganlong family again and steal Taganlong's martial arts technique. That way he would be invincible when facing even more powerful enemies. Right, didn't my master, the strange man in heaven rank, say that he was stealing the enemy's cultivation method? If it was really as he said and he could steal the mantra of the 5 elements 8 trigram palm, that would be a good thing. But where was he going to find the strange man in heaven rank? The treasures in the Wulong Haut mountain range had already been taken out, so it was impossible for the heaven-ranked eccentric to return to that mountain range. With his crazy personality and brain, who knew where he might have run off to? It would be extremely difficult to find him. Outside the room, Yushu was sitting on the sofa in a daze. Although her eyes were on the TV, it was obvious that she was absent-minded. Shu, what's wrong with you? Is there something on your mind? Meng Yao felt that something was wrong when Shu poured tea for her. She felt that something was wrong with her. Yushu froze and came back to her senses. Yao Yao, what did you say? Meng Yao frowned slightly. Shu, is there something on your mind? Didn't you hear what I said just now? No, Shu was too engrossed in the TV just now. Yushu was a little shocked and quickly said with a smile. Really? Then what was on the TV? Mei Yao asked. The TV. Yushu subconsciously glanced at the TV and said, Isn't it Pleasant Goat and Big Big Wolf? I just changed the channel. Mei Yao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It was SpongeBob just now. Oh right, it was SpongeBob. Yushu nodded. I watched SpongeBob yesterday and it was Pleasant Goat and Big Big Wolf just now. I didn't change the channel. Meng Yao was a little speechless. Shu, what's wrong with you? You're even hiding it from me? Is that so? Yushu didn't expect Meng Yao to be this cunning, lying to her. She shook her head. It's really nothing. Maybe I overused my brain in the casino today. Really? Meng Yao naturally didn't believe Yushu's words. She sighed and lowered her voice. Is it because of... Meng Yao thought about it and couldn't come up with a reason like that. Shu liked Lin Yi and Yushu had never denied her feelings for him. It was understandable that Shu was in a bad mood after Lin Yi suddenly confessed to Wang Xinyan. Chapter 2384. Whether it was Tang Yun or Xiao Xiao, Yushu didn't really care about them. She acted like a mistress, but in the end she still became good friends with Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao. This time Wang Xinyan becoming Lin Yi's first wife was Yushu's idea. Was she really unhappy because of this? Meng Yao didn't believe it herself. It was possible to say that Meng Yao wasn't happy, but it didn't seem possible to say that Shu wasn't happy. From the beginning to the end, her only thought was that as long as she could be with Lin Yi, it didn't matter if he was an official girlfriend or not. Even if he was the main wife, she'd be satisfied as a small wife. And so Meng Yao was puzzled. Why did Shu's personality seem to have changed today? Could it be that she didn't want to be the second wife anymore and her personality exploded? How did you know? Yushu blurted out subconsciously, realizing that she'd let the cat out of the bag. No, I was just using my brain a little too much. I'm a little dizzy. Shu. Meng Yao looked at Yushu sternly. Okay, it's because of Shield Bro, Yushu said helplessly. I'm actually worried about Wang Xinyan. Shu, you don't want Wang Xinyan to be Lin Yi's girlfriend? Meng Yao asked weirdly after hearing Yushu admit it. No. Yushu shook her head. It's not that I don't want to. Yushu's innocent expression only made Meng Yao even more puzzled. She seemed to have misunderstood the situation. Yushu didn't seem to be upset about Xinyan's ascension to the position, but was it because of something else? Meng Yao asked curiously, then what are you worried about? I'm worried that she rejected Shield Bro's confession. Shu wants her to be Shield Bro's first wife so that she can be with Yao Yao in the future, Yushu said. Xinyan sis has a good personality, she'll probably have a good time with Yao Yao when she moves into the villa. Move into the villa? Meng Yao paused. You're telling her to move into the villa? What do you mean by having a good time? What are you talking about? It's nothing. What Shu means is, if Shu dies one day we can find someone to accompany Yao Yao. Yushu said after some hesitation. Dead? How could he die? Why are you talking about these things? Meng Yao looked at Yushu confused. She glared at her. What's wrong with you today? Nope, I'm just thinking about it. People go through life and death, accidents and disasters. What if I die one of those times? I won't be able to be with Yao Yao anymore. Yushu said. From now on, let Sister Xinyan accompany Sister Yao Yao. What nonsense are you talking about? Meng Yao couldn't understand what Yushu was talking about. She touched Yushu's forehead. You don't have a fever? No, Shu already said it. I'm just sighing just in case. Yushu was back to her usual cheerful self. Shu's just saying in case, so even if we're looking for someone we'll have to find a sister that Yao Yao can get along with. If Shu dies there'll be no one to help Yao Yao. Sister Xinyan is a good person and she's very kind. She can't bully Yao Yao and she'll definitely give the main wife to Yao Yao. Meng Yao blushed after hearing Yushu's words. She didn't know what to do. Shu, what are you talking about? What are you trying to say? It's nothing. I think we should make a plan for Shield Bro to chase after a beauty. Let Shield Bro get Xinyan sis smoothly. What do you think? Yushu said. Plan for chasing after a beauty? Mei Yao blinked. She looked at Shu for a long time, making sure that she wasn't talking nonsense. You're saying that we should help Lin Yi? Yeah, only Lin Yi and Xinyan sis can get together. Otherwise I'll be worried. Yushu blinked. Otherwise I'll be worried. Yushu didn't make it clear what she was worried about. Was it Meng Yao or Lin Yi? What do you want to do? Meng Yao asked after some hesitation. She was quite supportive of Yushu's suggestion. She wouldn't have invited Xinyan to her house if she didn't like her. The kidnapping incident had put the plan on hold, but that didn't stop Meng Yao from wanting Xinyan to be Lin Yi's main wife. Let's go upstairs and think about it. We need to come up with a detailed plan. Yushu said as she pulled Meng Yao upstairs. Xinyan left Lin Yi's villa and hailed a taxi to go back to school. Chen Tian, on the other hand, watched her enter the dorms from afar before leaving with Old Pai and the others. Xinyan's heart was a mess. She didn't think that Lin Yi would confess to her at a time like this. She wasn't ready yet, or more accurately, she hadn't taken care of her own business yet. Would he be unhappy if she rejected him? Xinyan suddenly wondered if it would hurt Lin Yi if she ran away just like that. Should she give him a call and explain things to him? Tell him about her troubles? She had a fiancé and the engagement hadn't been cancelled yet? Lin Yi should have known about this, but he was confessing to her anymore. Was he trying to embarrass her? Xinyan was a good kid and she'd always been obedient since she was young. She wasn't too willing when it came to marriage, but with her family's interference she'd reluctantly agreed. After all, she didn't have anyone she liked. Xiaolong looked like a nice guy on the surface. He was a doctor and House Kong was a medical family. But when she saw how Xiaolong fawned over Wu Chintian during their meal in Yanjing, Xinyan felt that Xiaolong wasn't as nice as the rumors made him out to be. He was a bit of a hypocrite and she didn't have a good impression of him. She didn't say much because of her family. But it was different now. Xinyan had someone she liked and she didn't want to be tied down by fate. She didn't want to marry Xiaolong anymore. This was the first time in her life that Xinyan felt rebellious. She wanted to overturn her family's decision. She even had the urge to call her parents the moment she got back to the dorms and cancel the engagement with House Kong. Chapter 2385. She liked Lin Yi. She'd had feelings for Lin Yi before, but she didn't dare face them, didn't dare admit it. She'd lied to herself and told herself that they were just good friends. Until today when Lin Yi confessed to her. She'd walked out of that self-deception completely. Yes, were she and Lin Yi still good friends? What kind of friends would hug each other all the time? What kind of friends would meet each other? What kind of friends would have their hearts beat faster when they were together? What kind of friends would have their hearts beat faster when they were alone together? No, of course not. Xinyan took in a deep breath. She felt like she had to do something. Xinyan returned to the girls' dorm and a lot of people looked at her strangely. After all, the scene of her leaving the room in a bedsheet was too shocking, and now that she was back in a new set of clothes, there were still a lot of people who were curious. What was Xinyan doing? But Xinyan naturally didn't have the time to care about other people's thoughts. She quickly went back to her room and closed the door. Xinyan, what were you doing just now? Why the rush? Xiaoling asked curiously when she saw Xinyan. If I didn't know you Shu and Meng Yao, I would have thought that you were kidnapped again. It's nothing. Xinyan shook her head. They're just joking. Joking? Xiaoling didn't believe it, but Xinyan didn't want to talk about it. She didn't ask anymore. Zhao Xingji and Bai Weituo asked me and Mei Wei out for dinner. Do you want to go? I'm not going, you guys go. When you come back, just bring me a lunchbox from the cafeteria. Xinyan clearly wasn't in the mood to eat. Plus, Xiaoling and He Mei Wei were a couple. Why would she go? Alright, I'll be going then. Xiaoling nodded and left the room. Xinyan, on the other hand, hesitated for a moment before gritting her teeth and dialing her mother's number. Xinyan, are you feeling better? Xiao Qinlin quickly picked up the phone. Xiao Qinlin was afraid that Xinyan would be in a bad mood after being kidnapped, so she didn't ask about her daughter's boyfriend at school. Now that Xinyan had taken the initiative to call, Xiao Qinlin naturally wanted to have a good talk with her. Her brother had called again, saying that House Kang's Kong Xiaolong was going back to Donghai Industry University to write his doctoral thesis. He wanted Xinyan to get along well with him. Xiao Qinlin didn't think it was appropriate to interfere with her daughter's freedom of love. But the Xiao family was on the verge of collapse, and this was something they had agreed to before, so Xiao Qinlin could only bite the bullet and agree to it first. Xinyan had already planned to tell her mother that she didn't want to marry Xiaolong, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. Xinyan rarely disobeyed her parents. This time she really didn't know what to say. What's wrong, Xinyan? What kind of trouble are you in? Xinyan asked. Xiao Qinlin's heart skipped a beat as she hurriedly asked. I don't want to marry House Kang's Kong Xiaolong. I want to break off the engagement. Xinyan finally mustered up the courage to say this from the bottom of her heart. She didn't want to be a good girl anymore. She wanted to rebel for once. What? Qinlin froze. She didn't think that her daughter would be the first to tell her the truth. She was waiting for her daughter to be in a good mood before telling her daughter about her relationship with Xiaolong. She heard that Xiaolong was a good guy and he was also a doctor. It wouldn't be a shame for Xinyan to marry him, but she didn't think that Xinyan would want to break off the engagement. I'm at school. I have a boyfriend. Xinyan bit her lips and said firmly, I like him, I want to be with him. I don't want to marry Kong Mingming. I don't want to be manipulated by the family. I want to be a bargaining chip for the Xiao family to marry into the rich and powerful. Xinyan. Qinlin's heart softened. She didn't think that her daughter would be this determined. Last time in Yanjing, her daughter didn't like Xiaolong and didn't want the marriage, but she still agreed to look around first. But this time, Qinlin could feel her daughter's determination. In the past, although her daughter wasn't willing, she didn't put up such a strong resistance. This time, although her daughter didn't make a fuss, her tone was incomparably firm. So Xiao Qinlin really didn't know what to say. Especially when she thought of her brother Xiaoji's phone call, Xiao Qinlin felt helpless. Mom, I'm not being impulsive. I'm very sure that I like him. Xinyan continued. Xiao Qinlin sighed and said, Actually, I called you this time to talk about the Kong family's engagement. But you said these things first, so I can't say anything more. Mom, what's wrong? Did the Kangs say anything? Xinyan asked, startled. Just now your uncle called me and told me about the Kong family's engagement. Qinlin didn't hide anything. Your uncle said that House Kang's Xiaolong is going back to Donghai Industry University to write his doctoral thesis. He wants you two to spend some time together. What? He's here? Xinyan paused, not expecting Xiaolong to be here. She knew that Xiaolong was a student at Donghai Industry University, but Xiaolong was a PhD student, so he didn't have to stay in school all day. He almost never came to school and Xinyan didn't have much interaction with him. She didn't expect him to come back at this time. Xinyan, I understand what you mean. I'll explain it to your uncle. I hope he can cancel the engagement. Qinlin sighed. Ever since you were kidnapped, your dad and I have become less concerned about business. Nothing is more important than you. Your dad and I were even thinking of selling the company to the kidnappers for ransom, so we think that we can give up on these worldly possessions. As long as you're happy, that's enough. The Shao family and House Kong won't be able to threaten us anymore. Thank you, Mom. Xinyan sniffled. She didn't expect her mother to say something like that. Xinyan wasn't stupid. She could guess the consequences of canceling the engagement. Her father's company might be attacked by both House Kong and Shao family. But then she thought of Lin Yi, and her heart was filled with hope. He's my boyfriend and he has a lot of connections in Donghai. He knows people from the Hidden House Pai. They're working under Lin Yi right now. Rejecting House Kong won't affect your business. Chapter 2386. What? The Hidden House Pai works for Lin Yi. Qinlin wasn't a stranger to Lin Yi's name. Ling Shan and Meng Yao had both mentioned him back in the police station, but she never would have thought that the Hidden House Pai worked for Lin Yi. Wasn't the Hidden House Pai the support of the Shao family? How did they become Lin Yi's men? With that, Wang Xinyan's marriage would be settled, wouldn't it? Qinlin let out a breath of relief at the thought. Back then I was saved by the Hidden House Pai's elder Pai, but I didn't tell you or Dad because I wanted to keep it a secret. Xinyan couldn't hide it anymore. She needed to take out some chips for her own happiness. Is that so? Shao Qinlin sighed and said, Okay, I'll call your uncle now and tell him about the situation. Thank you, Mom. Xinyan knew that things were going to work out and she was happy. But Qinlin's prediction seemed to be a bit off. After she told Shao Ji and Shao Ben about it, they were shocked for a moment, but Shao Ben didn't give a clear answer. He only said that he needed to discuss it with his brother first before making a decision. This surprised Qinlin, but she didn't say anything. She waited quietly for her brother's reply. After hanging up, Shao Ben's eyebrows furrowed. Shao Ji, on the other hand, was an impatient man. Brother, if Lin Yi is the Hidden House Pai's boss, then he's our backer's backer. There's no harm in getting on good terms with him. Why don't you agree to cancel the marriage? Cancel the marriage? You want our Shao family to be Lin Yi's lackeys? Shaoji, I think you're crazy. Did you forget that Lin Yi is our Shao family's #1 enemy? You're an idiot. Go Huli screamed before Shao Ben could say anything. She didn't want the Shao family to give in to Lin Yi. Hadn't she lost enough face in front of Lin Yi? One had to admit that this woman was quite vengeful, especially a woman like Go Huli. Once you started to hate someone, it would be to the point of making your hair stand on end. Shao Ji heard Huli's scream and gave her a big slap. What are you yelling for, you useless bitch? Who are you to make decisions for the Shao family? You hit me. Shao Ji, I'm doing this for the good of the Shao family. How dare you hit me? Go Huli held her swollen face and cried. Damn it. If you call me that again, I'll hit you again. Shao Ji said angrily. Big brother, don't be angry. Shao Ben waved his hand to stop Shao Ji's violence. Sister-in-law isn't wrong. Don't be agitated. He's right. Shao family won't get any benefits if we give in to Lin Yi. Oh? Shao Ji paused. If Xinyan marries Lin Yi, wouldn't our Shao family depend on Lin Yi? Even the Hidden House Pai depends on Lin Yi. This means that Lin Yi has a lot of potential. This is good for the development of our Shao family. Big brother, you're too naive. Shao Ben said. You're right, but have you thought about it? How big is the hatred between our Shao family and Lin Yi? From the beginning, our Shao family has always been against Lin Yi. We've hit him when he's down. It's already at an irreconcilable stage. That. Shao Ji hesitated. Then if we marry Xinyan to Lin Yi, wouldn't we become relatives with Lin Yi? Relatives? Shao Ben laughed coldly. You treat Lin Yi as a relative, but will he treat you as one? We've heard about what happened in the Hidden House Tang from the Hidden House Yu. Did Lin Yi give face to Tang Yun's father? Did he give face to her grandfather? He's her biological father. What are we? We're not even close to him. That. Shao Ji thought about it. His brother was right. But he still hoped for luck. Didn't Wu Qintian and the Hidden House Pai have conflicts with Lin Yi before? Didn't you get Lin Yi's trust now? I don't know if the Hidden House Pai is on Lin Yi's side or not, but it doesn't matter. Wu Qintian too, did he have a direct conflict with Lin Yi? Did it cause any serious consequences? Shao Ben waved his hand and said, no. Qintian and House Pai actually didn't have much of a conflict with Lin Yi. It was just that they didn't get along. But there is no way our Xiao family would draw their swords against each other. For example, Zhao Qibing of the hidden house Zhao, Xie Yufeng of the common house Yu. These people had a grudge with Lin Yi. Do you think there's any way to resolve it? The common house Yu was destroyed by Lin Yi, and the hidden house Zhao's Zhao Qibing almost lost his life a couple of times. Do you think Lin Yi would let us who aren't good relatives of Wang Xinyan live with us? That Xiao Ji didn't have much of a brain, but after Xiao Ben's analysis he felt that it was possible. After all, the Xiao family and Lin Yi had a huge grudge. When Lin Yi was injured, the Xiao family had jumped out to add insult to injury. Would Lin Yi let them go so easily? Can't we ask the hidden house Pai for mercy? Xiao Ji said after some hesitation. Ask for mercy? Do you think the hidden house Pai would care about us after joining Lin Yi? Even Wu Qintian wouldn't care about us after joining Lin Yi, let alone the high and mighty hidden house Pai. Do you think the hidden house Pai would care about us? Xiao Ben shook his head. We're just a money-making tool for the hidden house Pai. Now that the hidden house Pai has joined Lin Yi's side, and Wu Qintian is Lin Yi's follower, the hidden house Pai and Lin Yi would be doing business with Wu Qintian. Would they even consider us? That's true. Xiao Ji nodded. Even if we let Wang Xinyan follow Lin Yi, we wouldn't be able to get on Lin Yi's good side. Lin Yi would still ignore us and the Xiao family's position would still be in danger. But if we force Lin Yi to marry Xiaolong, wouldn't we be going against Lin Yi? Wouldn't Lin Yi destroy us in a fit of rage? If he wanted to, he would have done it a long time ago. The reason why he hasn't is probably because we're Wang Xinyan's uncle's son, so we don't have to be afraid of anything. Xiao Ben said, at that time when the hidden Tang family broke off with Lin Yi and Tang Yun, I didn't see Lin Yi do anything. Xiao Ben was right, Lin Yi didn't do anything to the hidden house Pai, but it wasn't because he didn't want to, but because he wasn't their opponent. Chapter 2387. Xiao Ben neglected this important point. How could the Xiao family be compared to the hidden house Tang? But if we force Xinyan to marry Xiaolong, will Lin Yi retaliate? Even if he doesn't, won't the hidden house Pai do it? Xiao Ji asked worriedly. This actually has nothing to do with the Xiao family. We can just kick the ball to House Kong. I don't think they'll agree to cancel the marriage, right? Xiao Ben smiled darkly. Of course, we'll add oil to the fire and stir up House Kang's emotions. They have the hidden house Yu as their backing and they're very arrogant. When the time comes, our Xiao family will join the hidden house Yu as well, and the hidden house Pai won't work. All right, we'll listen to you, brother. Xiao Ji nodded. What Xiao Ji said was not wrong. During this period of time, the Kong family's confidence had indeed swelled to its peak. The reason was simple. Kong Mingming, who said he was helping the hidden house Yu with something, suddenly sent a message saying that he wasn't actually helping the hidden house Yu, but that the ancient sect, Sky Elixir, had chosen him to help them with something. Although Kong Mingming didn't say what he was helping the Sky Elixir sect with, Elder Kong could hear the sense of superiority in Kong Mingming's words. Kong Mingming must be doing quite well, or else he wouldn't have made a call like this. Kong Xiaoming was doing quite well. After he was brought back to Sky Elixir School, the old head of Sky Elixir School, 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 Sky Elixir School. The Flaming Yang pill was a level 3 pill and it wasn't easy to make. You might not succeed even after a few tries and it was very exhausting. This was also why Tiandi wouldn't easily agree to make the Ice Heart Jade Bone pill for Bing Tang. If he had the time and energy, he wouldn't even be able to make some level 3 pills for his own family, let alone someone else. Naturally, that was impossible. Even the reward of the Heavenly Elixir School's trial test clearly stated that the reward could be a third-grade elixir pill of the Heavenly Elixir School, but one could not ask the Heavenly Elixir School to refine a third-grade elixir pill for them. If there was no third-grade elixir pill that the trial taker needed, they could use other heavenly treasures instead. This was enough to explain how difficult it was to make a level 3 pill. Of course, most of the third-grade elixir pills in the Heavenly Elixir sect were not refined by the people of heaven and earth. Instead, they were refined by Patriarch Xuanzhen's senior brother. Patriarch Xuanzhen's senior brother was an alchemist and his standards were higher than heaven and earth man's. However, heaven and earth man did not dare to ask exactly how high he was, Of course, if it wasn't Tiandi Sex Sr. was in closed training. Heaven and Earth Man would definitely ask Patriarch Xuanshan's senior brother to help him refine a third-grade elixir, but there was no other way. He could only do it personally. Things were settled. Kong Mingming was allowed to make a call home, and when Kong Mingming told Dr. Kong everything, Dr. Kong was surprised and happy. He didn't expect that his grandson, whom he didn't think highly of, would once again bring him an unparalleled surprise. With that, Miracle Dr. Kong gathered all the members of the house and held a family meeting. When Dr. Kong told Kong Guifeng, Kong Tuipu and Kong Xiaolong about Kong Mingming's current situation, the three of them were a little dumbfounded and felt that it was unbelievable. They didn't expect it. Kong Mingming was chosen by the Sky Elixir sect to help them. This was a great honor. No one in the Kong family was stupid. The Hidden Yu family was such a powerful alchemy family, but no one was chosen by the Sky Elixir sect. Instead, Kong Mingming was taken away to help. This meant that the help was definitely not simple, and only Kong Mingming could help. Therefore, everyone in the Kong family understood one thing. The Kong family's meteoric rise was imminent. Relying on the ancient sect, it wasn't impossible for the Kong family to directly upgrade to a hidden family. Although Xiaoming didn't say it explicitly this time, the hint was clear enough. He is highly valued in the Sky Elixir sect, learning alchemy from the fifth elder of the Sky Elixir sect. Although he only said to help the Sky Elixir sect with one thing and didn't say what it was, his identity as the fifth elder's disciple is enough to make his identity incomparably prominent. Dr. Kong said, "Everyone think about it. Even the Hidden Yu family doesn't have this treatment, but Xiaoming did it. Our Kong family's future really needs to be planned carefully." Yeah, I didn't think that this kid Xiaoming would bring us so many surprises recently. When Kong Guifeng said this, his emotions were complicated. He was both envious and happy, but most of all he was relieved. Kong Mingming went to the Sky Elixir sect and became their disciple. It was basically impossible for him to return to the Kong family. Even if the small Kong family was upgraded to a hidden family, it was nothing to Kong Mingming. His position in the Sky Elixir sect and the head of the Kong family were two completely different concepts. So with this, it was impossible for Kong Mingming to fight with Xiaolong for the position of the head of the house. This was a good thing. Xiaolong naturally understood this as well. This Kong Xiaoming's luck was just too good. He'd worked so hard, but he'd still have to rely on Kong Xiaoming's whims in the future. Even if he became the head of House Kong, the entire House Kong would still have to listen to him. Grandpa, this is a good opportunity for us Kong family. If we grasp it well, we can form a relationship with the Sky Elixir sect and become a hidden house. Xiaolong was excited. Although he still had to rely on Kong Mingming in the future, if he could become the young master of a hidden house, it would be completely different from his current position. Xiaolong is right. Our pharmaceutical company is currently suffering quite a blow, but if we can form a relationship with the Heavenly Elixir sect and use the Heavenly Elixir sect's route, we can act as an agent to sell some elixirs and treasures of heaven and earth, just like the Hidden Yu family. When that time comes, we will be rolling in money. Dr. Kong nodded. Guifeng, our business with Dr. Kang's medicine company is almost finished. We're not making much money now anyway. If we can sell it, we'll sell it. We'll plan for the future. Chapter 2388. Yes, Father. Kong Guifeng nodded. Dr. Kang's medical company was barely hanging on. After being attacked by Lin Yi, there wasn't much business at all. It was just that House Kong had been passive all this time and hadn't found any suitable new business, so they had been dragging it on. Now that Kong Mingming had become a refiner, even if the failed pills were brought to House Kong and sold to normal practitioners, such as bodyguards of wealthy merchants, it would still be a huge fortune. House Yu wasn't too willing to do this kind of low-end business, so House Kong could fill this gap in the market. Yes, does anyone have any suggestions? Let's hear it together, Dr. Kong asked. Grandpa, about my marriage with Wang Xinyan? Xiaolong hesitated and asked. He was a very utilitarian person. Although he felt that Wang Xinyan wasn't bad and he was drooling over her beauty, if he had to compare it with his family's interests, he could give up on her beauty. Yes, Father, shouldn't Xiaolong break off the engagement and find a better one? Like the daughters of other hidden houses? Kong Guifeng was also a very snobbish person, so he asked. Break off the engagement? Stupid. Dr. Kong snorted and said, Xiao family's Wang Xinyan, your marriage with her should be done as it should be. Not only can you not break off the engagement, but you must also try your best to make this marriage happen. Why is that? Kong Guifeng was stunned. He didn't expect his father to say this. Guifeng, we House Kong suffered a great loss because we went back on our words last time. Dr. Kong waved his hand and said with a serious expression, last time, it was because we were too eager for success and went back on our words that we almost lost the chance to build a relationship with House Yu. If it wasn't for the Xiao family helping us, we wouldn't have been able to build a relationship with the hidden House Yu. So it's all thanks to the Xiao family that our House Kong is where we are today. Luckily the Xiao family didn't mind. Otherwise our Kong family will really decline. Kong Guifeng and Kong Xiaolong froze, but they nodded. They had to admit that Dr. Kong was right. And this time, Xiaoming's success is because of the hidden Yu family. As the saying goes, don't forget the one who dug the well when you drink water. Our Kong family will never break off the engagement with the Xiao family because of this. Not only that, we must also try our best to facilitate this marriage. Dr. Kong saw that Kong Guifeng and Kong Xiaolong were listening, so he continued, from your point of view, it's more beneficial for us to marry into the hidden houses. But do you think that with our family's current situation, those hidden houses would really look at us? Yes, we have the support of the Heavenly Elixir sect, but how many hidden families don't have the support of an ancient sect? Just look at the hidden house Yu and the hidden house Pai. These old hidden houses had the shadow of the ancient level behind them. If we marry them, will they even look at us? What's more, if our Kong family breaks the engagement in their eyes, we'll become treacherous people. If we did it once, can't there be a second time? Let me make a bold guess. If Kong Mingming becomes an elder of the Heavenly Elixir sect, wouldn't our Kong family's position be above the hidden houses? At that time, would we break the engagement and marry into an ancient sect or an ancient house? Our Kong family's reputation would be ruined by then. So you're saying that our family will continue to work with the Xiao family and maintain our friendship? Kong Guifeng asked carefully. That's right. Not only do we need to maintain our friendship with the Xiao family, but we also need to use this opportunity to extend an olive branch and bring the Xiao family into our business. We'll get rich together. Dr. Kong said, these few business failures have made me understand some things. Our Kong family was too selfish in the past. But now we need to change this bad habit. We need to let people see that those who helped us after our Kong family becomes strong, will repay them with even a drop of water. Grandpa, I understand what you're trying to say. Xiaolong nodded thoughtfully. You're trying to tell us that as our Kong family gets stronger and stronger, we need to pay more attention to our reputation. It's good that you understand, Xiaolong. Miracle Dr. Kong nodded. Your marriage isn't important anymore. As long as Xiaoming is here, we can't fall. Instead of a marriage alliance, why don't you just follow Xiaoming? That's better than anything else. Of course, Xiaolong, don't think too much about it. Xiaoming may be doing better than you, but when you become the head of the house, your position will be much higher than before. Yes. Xiaolong nodded quickly. He'd thought this through long ago. Even if he still had to lower his head in front of Kong Mingming, there was no other way. Kong Mingming was a member of the Heavenly Elixir sect, not just his little brother, and he'd gotten a lot of benefits from this. As they were talking, the phone beside Old Kang's hand rang. Old Kong looked at the caller ID and after a slight surprise he picked up the phone with a smile. Hello, head of house Yu. Old Kong, just call me Old Yu from now on. Why are you calling me head of the house? It's too formal. Old Yu laughed and said politely. Hee, then I'll do as you say. Old Kong was also a sly old fox. He immediately understood the purpose of Old Yu's call. He was trying to rope in his family. In the past, when the hidden house Yu called the Kong family, it was always with a master's commanding tone. It was never this polite. But today Old Yu changed his attitude and spoke to him in a tone of equality. Old Kong knew that the Yu family had received the news. Old Kong, congratulations. Your grandson is valued by the Heavenly Elixir sect and has become the 5th elder's proud disciple. In the future, when he becomes successful and becomes the next elder of the Heavenly Elixir sect, don't forget to remind our house Yu. Old Yu obviously knew more than Old Kong. Since Kong Mingming could clearly release the news that he had become the 5th elder's disciple, and the celestial being had personally refined the elixir, it showed that Kong Mingming was going to be successful in the future. If he really refined the bone-washing pill, then Kong Mingming would become the fifth elder's successor and become the next elder of the Heavenly Elixir sect. This was basically a matter of fact. Therefore, even old Yu had to be moved and build a good relationship with the Kong family in advance. An elder of the Heavenly Elixir sect was a high existence in front of the hidden House Yu. It could even directly determine the status of the House Yu in front of the Heavenly Elixir sect. How could old Yu not pay attention to it? You flatter me. Xiaoming is still young. He is just a little disciple. He is too far away from becoming an elder. Although old Kong said so, his heart jumped. Happy face carrot. Chapter 2389. Obviously, the Hidden Yu family's information channel was better than the Kong family. However, Old Man Kong was very excited after listening to it. Can Kong Mingming really become the next elder? Previously he was just fantasizing and guessing. But now, after listening to Old Man Yu's words, the thoughts in his heart were a little different. After all, if Kong Mingming didn't have any development, Old Man Yu wouldn't call him with such a low profile. You're being modest. You can't say that. I heard that Xiaoming is the fifth elder's last disciple. His future is limitless. Old Man Yu said with a smile. Dr. Kong was even more surprised. He didn't expect Kong Mingming's luck to be so good. He actually became the fifth elder's last disciple. He didn't say anything about this. If it weren't for Old Man Yu's phone call, Dr. Kong wouldn't know that Kong Mingming was so bad. Old Man Yu, keep a low profile. Xiaoming is still young. It's not easy to be praised too much. Understood. Old Man Yu said with a smile. Oh yeah, I heard that Xiaoming's brother is also majoring in biomedicine at Donghai Industry University. Yeah, Xiaolong is going back to write his doctoral thesis these few days. Dr. Kong said, what's the matter? My grandson Yu Panhu is also majoring in biomedicine at Donghai Industry University. He is also Boss Bai's disciple. They can get closer in the future. Old Man Yu said, alright, it's easier for young people to communicate together. Dr. Kong sighed. If it were in the past, the Hidden Yu family would never bother with the Kong family. The two weren't on the same level at all. But now, Old Man Yu had obviously regarded the Kong family as an equal partner. Good. Old Man Kong, you continue with your work. I don't have anything else to call. I just want to get in touch. Old Man Yu said. After hanging up the phone, Dr. Kang's heart was fluctuating. He still underestimated Kong Mingming's status. It seemed that Kong Mingming was now one of the important figures in Heavenly Elixir sect. The Kong family was really going to be awesome. Looking at Kong Guifeng, Kong Taipu and Kong Xiaolong, Dr. Kong said, Xiaoming's luck this time has exceeded our expectations. Our house Kong is really amazing this time. Father, what did the hidden old master Yu say? Kong Guifeng asked quickly. Old Man Yu said that Xiaoming has a high position in the Heavenly Elixir sect and is the fifth elder's last disciple. It's very likely that he will become an elder in the future. Miracle Dr. Kong didn't hide anything. These things were all very beneficial to House Kong. Xiaoming might have been modest and didn't say much, but House Yu's information network is much better than ours. They're already trying to get on our good side. Future elders. Kong Guifeng and others were shocked. Although Dr. Kong had said similar words before, it was just speculation and analysis. The effect of these words coming from the Yu family was completely different. Yes, and Old Man Yu said that his grandson Yu Panhu is also in Donghai Industry University's biomedical faculty. Xiaolong, go find him and get closer to him. Dr. Kong said. Okay, Grandpa. Xiaolong took a deep breath and clenched his fists. Clenching his fists tightly, he never thought that he would one day successfully raise his status to the level of a young master of a hidden house. This status was something that he could only dream of in the past, but he got it so easily and unexpectedly. He was very excited. Remember, be domineering in the future and don't embarrass House Kong. Don't embarrass Xiaoming. Xiaoming represents the Heavenly Elixir sect. Dr. Kong was very confident this time. But our House Kong is not afraid of trouble. Don't be afraid of trouble now, but don't take the initiative to stir up trouble. After all, every move we make may be watched by others. I understand, Grandpa. Don't worry, I won't go looking for trouble. Xiaolong nodded. Guifeng, tell this news to your in-laws, Xiao family. Let them be happy. Dr. Kang's tone was calm, but it was obvious that he wanted to show off. I'll make the call now. Kang Guifeng's phone rang before he could make the call. Kang Guifeng looked at the caller ID and froze. Because the person who called was Xiao Ben from the Xiao family. Speak of the devil and he will appear. Oh, I'm Kang Guifeng. Kang Guifeng picked up the phone. Xiao Ben bro, why are you calling me all of a sudden? Ha Kang bro, I'm really sorry to call you this time. To tell you the truth, there's some conflict in my family. Xiao Ben said. Family conflict? Why are you calling me if it's a conflict in the Xiao family? Kang Guifeng paused. There's a saying that even an upright official can't solve a family conflict. I can't interfere, can I? This is actually related to House Kang. That's why I'm calling for help. Xiao Ben smiled bitterly. Related to House Kang? Then what is it? Kang Guifeng didn't know what was going on. It's about Wang Xinyan and Zhaolong's marriage. Xiao Ben said. Wang Xinyan has some problems. Problems? Kang Guifeng frowned, anger rising in his heart. I say, Xiao Ben, are you trying to say that your Xiao family wants to cancel the marriage again? Kang Guifeng couldn't be blamed for his anger. House Kang was so powerful now that they didn't go to the Xiao family to cancel the marriage. How could he not be angry when Xiao family called them to cancel the marriage? This was simply humiliating the Kang family. Kang bro, please calm down. How could we cancel the marriage? Xiao Ben said quickly. Kang bro, you know that our Xiao family has been following House Kang's lead. Then what is it? Kang Guifeng felt much better after hearing Xiao Ben's explanation, especially when it came to following Kang Guifeng's lead. Man, my sister just called. She said that Wang Xinyan doesn't want to get engaged anymore. She wants to cancel the marriage because she likes someone else in school. Xiao Ben said bitterly. Xiao Ben, what do you mean? She's engaged and she likes someone else? Kang Guifeng frowned again. Are you messing with us? Kang bro, that's impossible. Xiao Ben explained. You know that our Xiao family has been trying to make this marriage happen, but the problem is that your son Zhaolong isn't doing well. He's already engaged to Xinyan, and the two of them should be in contact more often. Xinyan wouldn't have the chance to fall in love with someone else, but your son hasn't shown up for a while now. Isn't that giving others a chance to take advantage of her? Chapter 2390. Obviously, the Hidden Yu family's information channel was better than the Kang family. However, Old Master Kang was very excited after listening to it. Can Kang Mingming really become the next elder? Previously he was just fantasizing and guessing, but now after listening to Old Master Yu's words, the thoughts in his heart were a little different. After all, if Kang Mingming didn't have any development, Old Master Yu wouldn't call in such a low profile to build a relationship. You're being modest. You can't say that. I heard that Zhaoming is the fifth elder's last disciple. His future is limitless. Old Master Yu said with a smile. Dr. Kang was even more surprised. He didn't expect Kang Mingming's luck to be so good. He actually became the fifth elder's last disciple. He didn't say anything about this. If it weren't for Old Master Yu's phone call, Dr. Kang wouldn't know that Kang Mingming was so bad. He Old Master Yu, keep a low profile. Zhaoming is still young. It's not easy to be praised too much. Understood. Old Master Yu said with a smile. Oh yeah, I heard that Zhaoming's brother is also majoring in biomedicine at Donghai Industry University. Yeah, Zhaolong is going back to write his doctoral thesis these few days. Dr. Kang said, what's the matter? My grandson Yu Panhu is also majoring in biomedicine at Donghai Industry University. He is also Boss Bai's disciple. They can get closer in the future. Old Master Yu said. Alright, it's easier for young people to communicate together. Dr. Kang sighed. If it were in the past, the Hidden Yu family would never bother with the Kang family. The two weren't on the same level at all. But now, Old Master Yu had obviously regarded the Kang family as an equal partner. It's good. Old Master Kang, you continue with your work. I don't have anything else to call. I just want to get in touch. Old Master Yu said. After hanging up the phone, Dr. Kang's heart was in turmoil. He still underestimated Kang Mingming's status. It seemed that Kang Ming was definitely one of the important figures in Heavenly Elixir sect. The Kang family was really going to be awesome. Looking at Kang Guifeng, Kang Taipu and Kang Zhaolong, Dr. Kang said, Xiaoming's luck this time has exceeded our expectations. Our house Kong is really amazing this time. Father, what did the hidden old master you say? Kong Guifeng asked quickly. Old man, you said that Xiaoming's position in the heavenly elixir sect is very high. He's the fifth elder's last disciple and is very likely to be a future elder. Miracle Dr. Kong didn't hide anything. These things were all very beneficial to House Kong. Xiaoming might have been modest and didn't say much, but House Yu's information network is much better than ours. They're already trying to get on our good side. Future elders. Kong Guifeng and the others were shocked. Although Dr. Kong said something similar before, it was just speculation and analysis. The effect of these words coming from the Yu family was completely different. Yes, an old man Yu said that his grandson Yu Panhu is also studying in East Ocean Industry University's biomedical department. Xiaolong, you should go find him and get closer to him. Dr. Kong said. Okay, Grandpa. Xiaolong took a deep breath and clenched his fists. He never thought that there would be a day where he would successfully raise his status to the level of a young master of a hidden house. This status was something that he could only dream of in the past, but he got it so easily and unexpectedly. He was very excited. Remember, in the future, you must be domineering and don't embarrass House Kong. Don't embarrass Xiaoming. Xiaoming represents the heavenly elixir sect. Dr. Kong was very confident this time. But our House Kong is not afraid of trouble now, but we shouldn't actively cause trouble. After all, our every move can be watched by others. I understand, Grandpa. Don't worry, I won't actively cause trouble. Xiaolong nodded. Guifeng, tell this news to your in-laws, Xiao family. Let them be happy. Dr. Kang's tone was calm, but it was obvious that he wanted to show off. Okay, I'll make the call now. Kong Guifeng's phone rang before he could make the call. Kong Guifeng looked at the caller ID and froze. The person who called was Xiao Ben from the Xiao family. Speak of the devil and he's here. Hello, I'm Kong Guifeng. Kong Guifeng picked up the phone. Xiao Ben bro, why are you calling me all of a sudden? Kong bro, I'm really sorry to call you this time. To be honest, there's some conflict in my family. Xiao Ben said. Conflict in your family? Why are you calling me if it's a conflict in the Xiao family? Kong Guifeng paused. There's a saying that even an upright official can't solve a family conflict. I can't interfere, can I? This is actually related to House Kong. That's why I'm calling for help. Xiao Ben smiled bitterly. Related to House Kong? Then what is it? Kong Guifeng didn't know what was going on. It's about Wang Xinyan and Xiaolong's marriage. Xiao Ben said. Wang Xinyan's side has some problems. Problems? Kong Guifeng frowned, anger welling up in his heart. I say, Xiao Ben, are you trying to say that your Xiao family wants to cancel the marriage again? Kong Guifeng couldn't be blamed for his anger. House Kong was so powerful now that they didn't go to the Xiao family to cancel the marriage. How could he not be angry when Xiao family called them to cancel the marriage? This was a slap to House Kang's face. Kong bro, please calm down. How could we cancel the marriage? Xiao Ben quickly said. Kong bro, you know that our Xiao family has been following House Kang's lead. Then what is it? Kong Guifeng felt much better after hearing Xiao Ben's explanation, especially when he heard that they were following the lead. It made Kong Guifeng feel much better. Sai, my sister just called. She said that Wang Xinyan doesn't want to get engaged anymore. She wants to cancel the marriage because she likes someone else in school. Xiao Ben said bitterly. Xiao Ben, what's the meaning of this? You're engaged but you still like someone else? Kong Guifeng frowned again. Are you messing with us? Chapter 2391. Humph, it takes two hands to clap. Kong Guifeng snorted coldly. However, the Kong family had been busy with the company's affairs a while ago. Xiaolong was also busy with the company's affairs. How could he have the mood to be in a relationship? Therefore, Kong Guifeng really couldn't refute what Xiao Ben said. However, Xiao Ben's words about Xiaolong not working hard made him very angry. He thought to himself, why is my son not working hard? Anyway, I will definitely not agree to it. Xiao Ben said, I strongly rejected my sister's proposal. This is a big matter that our two families have discussed. How can we change it just like that? Brother Kong, I am actually reminding nephew Xiaolong out of kindness. If his wife is taken away by someone else, it will be a disgrace to the Kong family. What is the status of the Kong family? She is the representative of the hidden house of Yu. Yes, this matter must not happen. The Kong family can't afford to lose this face. If the daughter-in-law of our Kong family is taken away by someone else, how will the Kong family survive in the future? Kong Guifeng said indignantly, however, Brother Xiao, your words are different. Our Kong family is no longer the representative of the hidden house of Yu. Oh, not anymore. Xiao Ben was stunned. He didn't understand what Kong Guifeng meant. Could it be that the Kong family and the hidden house of Yu had a conflict? Kong Mingming of our Kong family is currently accepted as the last disciple of the fifth elder of the Heavenly Elixir sect. He is also one of the future elders of the Heavenly Elixir sect. Kong Guifeng said proudly, so, our Kong family may be a hidden family in the future. At present we have a similar relationship with the House of Yu. We are both under the Heavenly Elixir sect. What? Xiao Ben heard Kong Guifeng's words and suddenly widened his eyes. He never thought that Kong Mingming of the Kong family was so powerful that he was accepted as the last disciple of the fifth elder of the Heavenly Elixir sect? And the future elder of the Heavenly Elixir sect? Isn't this too amazing? However, when Xiao Ben came back to his senses, he didn't think that Kong Guifeng was lying at all. After all, who would dare to joke about such things? Thinking of this, Xiao Ben was a little excited. He was smart and didn't compromise with Lin Yi. Otherwise, the Xiao family would be finished. How powerful was the Heavenly Elixir sect? That was a very powerful sect in the ancient times. It would be a piece of cake for them to destroy the Xiao family. He had made the right bet this time. If he followed the Kong family in the future, he wouldn't have to worry about not having a meteoric rise. Congratulations, Brother Kong. From now on, I'll call you the Hidden Kong family's young master. Xiao Ben immediately said flatteringly, Young Master Kong, from now on, our Xiao family will follow you. If you have any errands to run, don't forget us. Sure. Kong Guifeng said, feeling a little smug. Right, let's talk about Wang Xinyan first. What's going on? Wang Xinyan. Right, the person she likes is the enemy of your Kong family. Xiao Ben said, gritting his teeth. That person is Lin Yi. If it was someone else, they might be able to tolerate it, but Lin Yi can't, can he? Your Kong family's company went bankrupt because of Lin Yi, can you? You're the representatives of the ancient sects now, the future hidden house. How can you let a little bastard bully you? Can you? We didn't dare to mess with Lin Yi before, but now we have Kong Mingming Xiaolong's brother, can you? Can Kong Mingming just watch his sister-in-law be taken away? Absolutely not, can you? Lin Yi. Kong Guifeng said angrily, you and House Kong have an irreconcilable enmity. Brother Xiao, don't you worry, we'll get to the bottom of this. We, the Kong family, must fight for our honor. Yeah, this is a slap in the face. Xiao Ben said, most importantly, Lin Yi is in the wrong. We can't let this go. Okay, I understand, but you should restrain your Wang Xinyan as well. She's engaged, so you need to be more careful. Kong Guifeng said. Of course I understand. Xiao Ben nodded. Don't worry, Kong bro. Kong Guifeng hung up and told Dr. Kong, Cuipu and Xiaolong what Xiao Ben told him. Cuipu and Xiaolong were very agitated, thinking that they couldn't just let this go. This was a slap in the face and they had to fight for it. Father, we can't just let this go. Lin Yi bullied us before and we didn't have anyone to back us up. Now that we have someone to back us up, how can we let him bully us? Xiaolong had long since treated Wang Xinyan as his private property. He was already pissed when Lin Yi destroyed Dr. Kang's medical company, and now Lin Yi stole his woman. No matter how cunning he was, he couldn't hold it in anymore. But Dr. Kang's expression was very calm. He waved his hand at the angry Xiaolong. Xiaolong, don't be angry. Xiao family might not have good intentions. Dr. Kong was a snobbish man, but he was also a cunning and sinister man. He could tell from Xiao Ben's call that Xiao family might not have good intentions. Father, what do you mean? Kong Guifeng paused. Xiao family is trying to maximize their benefits. If Wang Xinyan were to follow Lin Yi, it wouldn't benefit Xiao family at all. Dr. Kong said. Xiao family and Lin Yi are mortal enemies, and it's unlikely that they'll be able to resolve it. If Xinyan were to follow Lin Yi, Xiao family and House Kang's relationship would fall apart. To them it's more harm than good, But they don't want to mess with Lin Yi, so they're kicking the ball to us, instigating you on the phone to make us go against Lin Yi. That's... Kang Geifeng listened to Dr. Kang's analysis and thought through some of the problems. Then shouldn't we just sit back and watch the tigers fight? Of course not. No matter what, Wang Xinyan is our daughter-in-law. If Lin Yi were to take her away, it'd be a disgrace to House Kang, and it'd be a stain on Xiaoming's name. The hidden House Yi would laugh at us too. Dr. Kang waved his hand. Right now, House Kang's reputation is very important. If we cause any bad news and the Sky Elixir sect finds out, it'll very likely hinder our path to becoming a top hidden house. Then father, you're saying that we should go against Lin Yi? But with our current strength we can't do that. Kang Guifeng asked carefully. Chapter 2392. Kang Geifeng, Kang Teipu and Kang Xiaolong's expressions changed after hearing Dr. Kang's analysis. But Dr. Kang didn't give them the chance to speak. Before Xiaoming has a firm foothold, we shouldn't get into a big conflict with our enemies. Let Xiaolong go and get Xinyan back from Lin Yi's hands. Lin Yi is a playboy with so many girlfriends he might not be true to Xinyan. Xiaolong still has an advantage. Plus, weren't you getting along well with Xinyan back in Yanjing? We were good back then, but we haven't seen each other for a while now. Xiaolong didn't expect Lin Yi and Xinyan to be together. Was there something wrong with Xinyan? Lin Yi had Tang Yun Feng Xiaoxiao, and that Guan Xian whom he had an unclear relationship with. What was this Xinyan doing? How about this? Xinyan is in Donghai Industry University's biology major, Boss Bai's class. Yupan is there too. You go there and listen in. While you're building a good relationship with Panhu, you can get in touch with Xinyan and get her back for me. Dr. Kang said. There's an important rule in Boss Bai's class: students can't fight to the death, but dirty tricks are allowed. Lin Yi won't be able to do anything to you. Alright. Xiaolong used to be Boss Bai's student, so he naturally knew about Boss Bai's rules. He also knew that Boss Bai's status was very high, and that Lin Yi wouldn't do anything rash. He wasn't afraid of starting a feud with Lin Yi because Lin Yi wouldn't do anything to him. In Xiaolong's mind, Lin Yi was a martial artist with no intelligence. He was a violent maniac. As for the attack on Dr. Kang's medical company, while Lin Yi was involved, Xiaolong believed that while Lin Yi was Fatty Lai's boss, Fatty Lai was still the one doing the work. The prescription was made by Guan Xueming, and Lin Yi didn't know anything about business. Taking a step back, even if Lin Yi and Xueming were the ones who came up with the recipe, Lin Yi only had some medical knowledge. When it came to scheming, Xiaolong didn't lose to anyone. After House Kang made their decision, Guifeng called Xiao Ben back and told him about House Kang's decision. Xiao Ben, on the other hand, told Xiao Ji about House Kang's latest movements. Brother, you're the best. You're far-sighted. Xiao Ji heard that House Kang's Kang Mingming was accepted as a disciple by the 5th elder of Sky Elixir sect, and that he had a chance to become an elder of Sky Elixir sect in the future. He sighed. If it wasn't for Xiao Ben's persistence, Xiao family would have been done for. Ah, brother, this is a great opportunity. If House Kang becomes strong, then our Xiao family's status will rise as well. Xiao Ben smiled. It was good enough for us to protect our status as noble houses, but now hidden noble houses are waving at us. Haha, of course. But Wang Xinyan. She better not get into trouble. Xiao Ji said worriedly. If something really happens between her and that little bastard Lin Yi, then Xiao family will lose the chance to be rich and powerful. Yeah, I've already instigated House Kang to make a move, but we need to warn Xinyan in advance. Don't let her do anything immoral. Xiao Ben nodded. If nothing happens between her and Lin Yi, House Kang won't give up, but if she's a slut, then Xiaolong won't bother. Compared to that, marrying a slut is even more shameful. Yes, then how should we tell Xiao Qinlin? Xiao Ji was even more worried after hearing this. What if we warn her and it backfires? That won't happen, I'll tell her. Xiao Ben had an idea. Alright, I'll leave it to you, brother. You're the brains of our family. Xiao Ji let out a breath of relief when he heard that Xiao Ben had an idea. Xiao Ben dialed Qinlin's number again, and Qinlin was anxiously waiting for Xiao family's reply. Qinlin, it's your brother Xiao Ben. Xiao Ben said after the call went through. Brother, how is it? Can we break off the engagement? Qinlin asked quickly. Qinlin, it's not that I want to lecture you, but marriage is a big deal. We're already engaged to House Kong. If we break off the engagement now, the consequences will be severe. Xiao Ben said with a heavy heart. Brother, I know it's a little troublesome, but Xinyan has spoken and I've discussed it with her father. Ever since Xinyan was kidnapped, we've realized that Xinyan is the most important thing. Everything else is just worldly possessions. Qinlin said. We don't need our company anymore. We can give it to you or House Kong. It doesn't matter if we have nothing as long as Xinyan is happy. Xiao Ben was startled. He didn't expect Qinlin to be so resolute this time. She even wanted to give up the company. Originally he wanted to use the company to threaten Qinlin, but it seemed impossible now. However, Xiao Ben wasn't called the brains of his family for nothing. He immediately had another idea. Qinlin, it's not about the company anymore. It's about whether House Kong can let Xiao family go and you and Xinyan go. So what if they don't? Qinlin said firmly. We don't want the company anymore. What else can they do? It's not something that can be solved just because you say you don't want it. Xiao Ben paused, then said, Qinlin, if Xinyan and Lin Yi are together, she and Lin Yi will both die. Do you believe it? Qinlin was stunned. Die? How can they die? No matter how overbearing the Kong family is, they can't just kill people, right? Heh. That was before. Xiao Ben shook his head. There are some things you don't know yet. House Kang's Kong Ming Ming Xiaolong's younger brother has caught the eye of the fifth elder of the Sky Elixir sect, one of the biggest ancient sections. He's been taken in as his last disciple, the future elder of the Sky Elixir sect. Now that House Kong has the protection of the Sky Elixir sect, do you think Kong Ming Ming will let it go if he finds out that his sister-in-law was seduced? If he brings a few masters from the Sky Elixir sect, it'll be the end of our sect. Don't think that just because Lin Yi has some martial arts and has the support of the Hidden House Pai, he's nothing in the eyes of the ancient sects. Chapter 2393. But the legendary ancient sect had accepted Kong Ming Ming as a disciple, and Kong Ming Ming could even become an elder of the Sky Elixir sect? Qinlin couldn't digest all of this at once. It was too surreal. It was unrealistic to say that House Kong could destroy Lin Yi and House Xiao, but it should be easy for an ancient sect to destroy Lin Yi and House Xiao. They could destroy them with a snap of their fingers. Even a hidden house was very powerful in Qinlin's eyes, let alone an ancient sect. If it weren't for the head of the Hidden House Pai, Wang Xinyan wouldn't even be alive right now. And so, Qinlin was dumbfounded. Qinlin, I'm doing this for the good of the Xiao family, and I don't want anything to happen to Xinyan. As for that little bastard Lin Yi, I'd be happy if he got rid of him. Xiao Ben was playing hard to get, but if Kong Ming Ming from the Sky Elixir sect comes out and takes out Lin Yi, Xinyan might not be in a good position. Think about it, in his eyes, marrying Lin Yi's woman back to House Kong would be a slap in the face. Getting rid of them was the best way. It was the least shameful way to solve the problem. In the end, our Xiao family, you and I will both die. It's that serious. Xiao Qinlin was quite frightened because what Xiao Ben said was too frightening. Yes, it's very serious. Xiao Ben said, this is actually very easy to prove. You don't have to doubt it. Kong Xiaolong will be going to Xinyan's class to listen in these few days. According to the Hidden House Yu's request, Yupan who has to get close to Kong Xiaolong, and Xinyan will be able to see him in a few days. That. Qinlin was really hoping for luck. She was scared, but she hoped that Xiao Ben was lying to her. However, after hearing Xiao Ben's words, Xiao Qinlin knew that this matter was basically true. They would know in a few days. The attitude of the Hidden Yu family disciples would reveal everything. Qinlin, I've already told you in advance. As for Xinyan, you should talk to her about the pros and cons. I believe she's a sensible child. She wouldn't do something so foolish as to send everyone to their deaths. Xiao Ben said. I understand. Xiao Qinlin said helplessly, I will talk to Xinyan and try my best to convince her. Although Xiao Qinlin wanted to support her daughter's choice, what was the point of supporting her if she lost her life? Xiao Qinlin sighed and dialed her daughter's number. Xinyan had been holding her phone, waiting for Xiao Qinlin's call. She picked it up immediately. How's it going? Did uncle agree to cancel the engagement? Xinyan, sigh. Xiao Qinlin listened to her daughter's expectant voice and couldn't help but sigh. Things are a little complicated. Mom, what's wrong? Is it because they don't want me to cancel the engagement? Xinyan heard her mother's unhappy tone and guessed what was going on. Her heart tightened. Xinyan, I'm sorry, I've tried my best. But I really can't. Xiao Qinlin said helplessly. Mom, do we really have to listen to Uncle? Can't we make our own choices? Worst comes to worst, we'll just cut off our relationship with them. We have Lin Yi and the hidden house pie to take care of our business. It won't be too bad. Xinyan had made up her mind and she was very determined. Xinyan, listen to me, I'll explain it to you slowly. Xiao Qinlin sighed and told Xinyan everything Xiao Ben said. Xinyan, now you know why I said it can't be done, right? The hidden house pie is strong, but can it compare to the ancient sex? If you choose Lin Yi, it's not just hurting you, it's also hurting Lin Yi. Do you want him to die? Xinyan's mouth was wide open, shocked beyond words. Xiaolong's brother, Kong Mingming, had become the disciple of the fifth elder of the Sky Elixir sect. The future successor of the elder? Why was House Kong so lucky? Xinyan, you're my only daughter, I don't want anything to happen to you. Xiao Qinlin continued. Sometimes liking someone doesn't mean you have to be with them. As long as they're safe and happy, that's a type of happiness, isn't it? Mom, I understand. Xinyan sighed softly, laughing at herself. She didn't think that her decision would die before it could be implemented. Yes, if she forced herself to be with Lin Yi, it wouldn't just hurt herself, it would hurt Lin Yi as well. Xinyan, think about it, calm down. Xiao Qinlin didn't feel too good. If you can't think it through, then call me, okay? Xinyan hung up quietly, tears streaming down her cheeks. Was it to mourn this withering love that hadn't even bloomed yet? Freedom of love was a luxury in a family like hers. Xinyan didn't want to give up, but she didn't want to bring trouble to Lin Yi. After some hesitation, she dialed Qintian's number. Xinyan, sis-in-law? Qintian blinked. He didn't expect Xinyan to call him. Although Xinyan had saved his number after she was kidnapped, she never called him. Qintian was a little surprised. Wu Qintian, I want to ask you something. Are ancient sects very powerful? Xinyan asked directly. Ancient sects? Qintian paused, not knowing why Xinyan would ask a question like this. He thought that she must have heard about it somewhere and was curious, so he answered casually, of course they're powerful. Ancient sects are much more powerful than hidden houses. Xinyan, sis-in-law, why are you asking this all of a sudden? Compared to Lin Yi? Xinyan asked again. Qintian was even more taken aback. He didn't expect Xinyan's thoughts to jump so far, comparing him to Lin Yi. He didn't want to belittle Lin Yi in front of Xinyan, but he didn't dare boast. Boss will be even more powerful than the ancient sects in the future. Look, Boss wasn't as powerful as a common house before, and he was suppressed by House Yu. But after that he successfully wiped out House Yu and took in all the common houses, forming the Cultivators Association. Now he's marching towards the hidden houses. Look, the hidden house Han and House Pai have become his lackeys, and they've joined the Cultivators Association as well. So, it's only a matter of time before Boss conquers the ancient sects. I got it. Thanks. Xinyan sighed as she hung up the phone. Chapter 2394. But this kind of achievement would have been very dazzling during normal times. It wasn't something normal people could achieve, but for Xinyan it was far from enough. The pressure from the ancient sects was simply too much. Xinyan finally understood her mother's fear. Even Lin Yi couldn't fight against them. After some hesitation, Xinyan finally made her decision. 4 years in university wasn't long, but it wasn't short either. She couldn't marry Xiaolong during that time, so she'd give Lin Yi 4 years. 4 years, she hoped that Lin Yi would be able to stand at a height even higher than the ancient sects. But from now on, in order to prevent the Sky Elixir sect from doing anything to Lin Yi, she had to keep some distance from Lin Yi, especially after Xiaolong's arrival. She'd keep this secret to herself. She didn't want to bring trouble to Lin Yi. If Lin Yi didn't reach that height in 4 years, then Xinyan would go to Xiao Xiao or Tang Yun. Weren't they heirs to the ancient sects? Xinyan would rather not get married then. She didn't believe that the Sky Elixir sect would start a war with the Ice Palace or Snow Valley just because of this. After all, running away from the wedding and being with Lin Yi were two different things. Running away would only cause House Kong to lose a bit of face, but being with Lin Yi would cause them to lose a lot of face. Qin Tian looked at the phone in his hand and shook his head. He didn't know why Xinyan was calling him, asking a few random questions. Was she trying to get to know Lin Yi better? But Qin Tian didn't think much of it. He continued walking around the mall with old Pai Jishan Pai Jihai and his grandpa. They'd been in Lin Yi's house for a while now and they didn't bring much luggage. Their clothes were washed and worn and Lin Yi had people buy them for them. Today was the chance to buy some daily necessities and clothes. Lin Yi was studying Spring Rain in his room after his failure when he heard Qin Shi's voice in the living room. Lin Yi quickly walked out to see that Qin Shi had just woken up. She stood up from the sofa and looked around, her eyes filled with shock. A moment ago, Qin Shi was scavenging with Grandpa Zhu near the beach between Donghai and Songshan. For some reason she fell asleep and when she woke up again she found herself lying on a sofa in a luxurious villa. Qin Shi was shocked. She remembered that there were often cases of girls being abducted on the internet and in the newspapers. She quickly checked her clothes and found that they were intact. Qin Shi felt a little strange. Who brought her here? Suddenly hearing the sound of the door opening, Qin Shi subconsciously turned her head, but what she saw was the person she yearned for day and night. Thinking about day and night, Qin Shi's face reddened. Only Ziyu knew what was on her mind. You're awake? Lin Yi knew that Qin Shi only took sleeping pills, so he wasn't too worried. Yeah, Lin Yi bro, why am I here? Qin Shi saw Lin Yi, surprised at first but then confused. Wasn't I scavenging at the beach? You were taken away by the bad guys and I just happened to see you so I brought you back. Lin Yi didn't explain in detail. Lin Yi didn't want to get rid of Boss Zhu just yet, and keeping him with Qin Shi was a form of protection. Lin Yi could tell that the reason why the Zhaos didn't leave after losing to Qin Shi was because they wanted to take Qin Shi away after Lin Yi, Pu Laolu, and Pu Huati fought to the death. They didn't want anything to happen to Qin Shi. But what they didn't expect was that Lin Yi's strength was beyond their expectations. From their perspective, Pu Laolu was an Earth-class late-phase peak, and Pu Huati was a psychic with an unknown combat ability. Even if the two of them couldn't win completely, it was still possible that they could take Lin Yi down with them. So the people who stayed there were waiting for Lin Yi to deal with Pu Laolu and Pu Huati, and then they could secretly take Qin Shi away. But what they didn't expect was that Lin Yi killed the hidden Zhaos in one move. They didn't even have the chance to see Lin Yi kill Pu Laolu. Although Lin Yi was recovering, he still heard the boss's words clearly. The hidden Zhaos had spoken to them, which meant that they had been planning this for a long time, and Qin Shi was just a pawn. But what was the relationship between Qin Shi and the hidden Zhaos? And why would Boss Zhu stay by Qin Shi's side? But what about Grandpa Zhu? Qin Shi was shocked. He came out to scavenge with Grandpa Zhu and she met the bad guys. How was Grandpa Zhu now? Did he meet the bad guys as well? Grandpa? Lin Yi laughed coldly in his heart. He's fine. He probably sold you out and you're still worried about him? But Lin Yi naturally wouldn't say this to Qin Shi. He said to her, who knows, but he should be fine. He's just an old man, he doesn't have much value. Pack up, I'll send you back to Songshan. Okay. Qin Shi was still a little worried about Grandpa Zhu, but since Lin Yi said so, she didn't ask anymore. She only nodded. I don't need to pack up, I can go now. Okay, let's go now. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't see Meng Yao and Yushu not knowing what they were doing. Lin Yi sent them a text, telling them that he was sending Qin Shi back to Songshan, and left the villa with Qin Shi. Boss Zhu didn't see what happened in the casino, but he did see Lin Yi carrying Qin Shi, Elder Pai Jishan, Pai Jihai, Wu Gonggao, Meng Yao, Yushu and the others all in one piece. Lin Yi had some bloodstains on him as if he was injured, but the fact that he could carry someone meant that he was fine. Why would Elder Pai appear next to Lin Yi? Wasn't Pai Jihai injured by the purple thunderbolt beast? Why did he appear here alive and kicking? You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.